45 seconds. "30 seconds. The show will start in 15 seconds, and this is your last audible warning.
Previously on the Bubba the Love Sponge show.
So I gotta get up there in the next couple weeks because our race is on the 28th, but that's when Colorado is going to be at UCF, and I don't want to miss that game.
No.
So I already told Tom Bean, I don't know, but how do I ask Dion? Like, things aren't going so swell right now.
He's going to need a friend.
Wow. You're listening to the Bubba the Love Sponge show.
Broadcast rights for the Bubba the Love Sponge show have been granted to this station by the Bubba Radio Network and is intended solely for the enjoyment of our listening audience. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or other use of this production without the express written consent of the Bubba Radio Network is prohibited.
The Bubba the Love Sponge show, Tuesday, September 10, 2022. Tomorrow, what, the 22nd? 23rd?
11
of September of 9/11.
Yes.
Oh.
23rd anniversary? Would it be 23rd?
Yes.
Yes.
I remember that day.
God, can you believe how long ago it was?
I was on the air at 98 Rock, and I stayed till 2 o'clock. And we were just wall-to-wall coverage. And Britt, I swear to God, I think we have. Do we have the broadcast?
We're
still trying to find it.
Yeah, we're trying to find it.
Yeah.
We've been looking for it.
We got a lot of 98 Rock stuff, and that's the one that I want most.
Yeah, well, among other, we got the guy that ate the placenta,
The Rat Shake for the Metallica concert.
Maybe we have Bubba's Roadkill Barbecue. Well, the thing that almost put me in prison for 5 years. But anyway, I can remember Brent Hatley. Because Brent's pretty well read. Brent's pretty well read. He really is. And
He's a knowledgeable guy.
Very. And some of it's BS, but most of it's not. And so, literally, it might have been after. Remember the first tower hit, and everybody was kind of thinking it might have been like a Cessna.
Or accident.
Or like a news helicopter or an accident, or stuff like that. And then when the second one hit, everybody knew it was a terrorist attack.
Yeah.
And Brent Hatley, and I'd never heard this name in my entire life because I'm not that well read. And Brent Hatley, I wish I could find the drop. He goes, "That's the act of Osama bin Laden." And I go,
I remember he was so adamant about it.
I was like, "Who?" And he goes, "Osama bin Laden. He's in what was it?
Taliban?
Yeah, the Taliban. He's the head of the Taliban. Osama bin Laden." We're like, "Brent, who? What? Shut up." But yeah, I remember it plain as day. Brent said it within about 10 seconds of the second airliner hitting the building. Brent just blurted it out, and I don't know of any news source anywhere because I know for about a year we searched and tried to find anybody that had, denoted Osama bin Laden as the person behind this sooner than Hatley. And I think Hatley was the first one out of the box. We also got in trouble for, I forget what it was. You might remember, maybe not. It was maybe before you. But was it Sammy El Arian? I don't know.
Oh, yeah, the USF guy.
Yes. So there was a guy that was a professor at USF, and he was a bad guy.
Yeah.
And we were way ahead of the he's a bad guy curve, and we were getting on the air saying Sammy El Arian, a professor at USF, does A, B, C, or D, and he's a no good mother effer, and this and this. And then there was this paper or whatever he wrote for, or whoever supported him, that damn near got us thrown off the air. Like, they went to all of our advertisers and everything and got, like that we were.
It was CARE, wasn't it, at the time?
No.
That came after you?
No,
Center for American Islamic Relations?
It might have been.
Because the guy that's head of CARE, we actually had on the Diaco show one night. And I got him to admit that, the jihad is in effect when there's invaders, and they consider America invaders in the Middle East, which is why the jihad has been in effect for the last 30 years.
So anyway, I don't know how that worked out or who was on Matt, but I remember one time Dan DiLoretto, the general manager of 98 Rock, came up to me. It was touch and go for a long time, and then he finally came up to me after something had broke, or I don't know, Sammy. I think the feds actually got involved, or maybe we actually expedited the feds' investigation. I think Sammy Al Arian was being investigated, and we just kind of are the only people in the public that was speculating that this was a bad guy, which might have expedited their, arrest of the guy. I think he got arrested.
He did, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he got in trouble.
So after he got arrested, then finally the management came to us and go, "Oh, you guys are right about that. We almost got fired." And we almost got fired because of it.
It's amazing now. So that guy was supporting, the bad guys in the Middle East, and he ultimately got arrested. Now you have hundreds and hundreds of people in the same position as him protesting at all these colleges and all these cities, and no one's doing a damn thing about it.
No, not at all. No.
They can send money. They can support all the no one cares. No one's doing anything. There's no enforcement about that.
Do you guys remember just most recently we went, I think it might have been Venmo first, then Cash App, and then Pay. We've had trouble with all of the electronic, PayPal, Cash App, Venmo. That has kind of, I wouldn't say resurrected, but it's an easier way for people to contribute to the show. And a lot more of your money goes to us. Like when you go and do like for instance through Twitch, and it's a bit. The monetization currency is called a bit, which is like the same as a cent. 1 bit is like 1 cent. So like 100 bits is $1. So, but Lummy, I think they take I think Twitch takes like 20 or 30% of it.
I think it's 30. I know they were talking about changing it. Rhett knows better, but they were talking about making it 40%, I think, at one point.
So, we kind of left that. Well, we're still there every day, and there's hardcore. Like I think Joe from the West Side's hardcore Twitch.
Oh yeah, Cable Dog.
Yeah, Cable Dog, maybe Scotty Landers, and we encourage if people like to be part of Twitch, we dabble over there as well. But once we established PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, guy gives us $500. We get like $4.95 of that. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So you get so much more for your credit for your donation, and we get a lot more of it. But while we were navigating through those, PayPal, Venmo, Cash App waters, they all locked us down and made us, they thought we were some type of terrorist organization. Meanwhile, do you know how many people from, wherever doing bad things and funneling money back to their country or to their terrorists, use those particular platforms probably and never are questioned and never get shook down, but a stupid radio show gets shook right on down.
Oh, there's probably 20 websites where you can donate to the Palestinians right now.
Well, speaking of Sammy Al Arian, he's pretty much a big-time person in the Palestinian
Resistance?
Resistance here in the United States. It's all over his Twitter.
Once a bad guy, always a bad guy. How much jail time did he do? Did he do any?
I think he did a couple of years.
Yeah, I think he got 56 months, I think it was.
Where's he based out of? And here's the thing, man. I'd have him on the air, but I think that's somebody you just don't want to mess with.
Well, if you're I'm looking at his Twitter now, and I wouldn't probably want to mess with him, especially with Seth here.
Well, no, not even with Seth. Like, it doesn't matter what the religious makeup of our program and the fact that we have a Jewish man here. I just think that he's an overall bad guy.
Yes.
And regardless if we had Seth or not, could potentially cause us issues. I mean, like a bomb on our building.
Oh, yeah, I can see that.
UPS guy comes in with a backpack, blows us up.
What are some of his tweets, Lummy, that you fear for my safety if we had him on?
Well, from what I was reading, I guess his wife is like one of the main people on the Columbia. Yeah, she's teaching people how to protest better, and a lot of things.
Hey, how about that? Hey, what course you taking at Columbia this week? Samuel Arion wife's teaching how to protest better.
And then
really? Yeah, it's 3 credit hours. I'm gonna go ahead and whiz right through it. I got a backpack presentation next week.
Yeah, I wouldn't probably want to mess with this guy.
And as a university, why would you even allow that? Our universities,
that doesn't make any. That's the whole thing, Bubba. That doesn't make any sense that these prestigious, top-notch universities are allowing this.
We're not talking
debauchery.
about Phoenix online interview. We're talking about Yale.
What do you
Harvard,
do you major
Cornell.
in protesting? I mean, with a minor in being a dickhead.
Here's the thing, man.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Universities, prestigious ones: Yale, Brown, Cornell, Duke, North Carolina. Just really.
There's 40 or 50 of them.
Really, the top prestigious universities. It used to be a place where liberal minds could get together to think outside the box, to invent stuff, or to look at things differently than just the all-American, Chevy apple pie and baseball kind of deal. And people looked at things differently and no answer was a wrong answer, but never was an answer a violent, I hate my country answer. It was always, just a liberal leaning, I never thought of that type answer. And now these universities, or I guess maybe going to college and being in a university, is no longer about maybe potentially out of the box or liberal thinking. It's about destructive hate thinking. It's hate speech is what it is. And they feel as if they're, somewhat insulated by their university to be able to spread hate. It's not what Nick Diaco's working on, some type of, coating that you can spray on wings and, some really, really smart stuff that Nick's working on. No, it's how can I get out of class, have a Palestinian flag on the quad and yell, to the river, to the sea, Gaza this, and that's
without getting kicked out of school. That's the art.
Yeah, without getting kicked out of school. And then and here's what's worse, is you got a percentage of teachers that are joining you. Instead of teachers coming and saying, get your ass back in class, this is not what you're supposed to be doing. I don't think your mom and dad, or maybe the parents. If Nick was, or Bella, when they were in college, if they were out, if Bella was on, if Steve and Krista saw Bella at USC with a pro-Palestinian flag and a headdress, and she was missing her 300 level whatever course she was supposed to be taking.
Is this Dan's niece that we're talking about?
Yeah, Bella. Yeah. Because she's the most recently have graduated from college.
She went to USC, which is a kind of, it's got a liberal element to it.
Right. So I'm talking California, University of Southern California. Also a very prestigious school as well.
Top 20 school.
Also a very expensive school
Top
when you're
3.
when you're paying out of state Willie.
Weren't they doing protests at UCLA? Like, is that right down the street? I feel like they were
that's in a nice section. That's like in Westwood.
So anyway, though, but if Steve or Krista had seen Bella out there, Steve would be on the phone saying, "Get your ass back in class. Yep. I'm not paying for you to make an ass out of yourself. Stop trying to make religious statements when that's not what we."
I can't see the Italians taking up arms for Palestine.
Yeah.
No, they'd be like pounding the Palestinians. They again, Italians don't tolerate this stuff.
Last night, the great James Earl Jones, better known from, I guess, probably most known for Darth Vader.
Yeah, that was his iconic role.
Also, this
God.
is CNN. A very and you know what? You never heard of any James Earl Jones controversies.
Yeah, he didn't Cosby anybody.
Yeah, he didn't Cosby anybody. He didn't. He didn't. Who's the quarterback for the Browns?
Sean Watson.
He didn't Deshaun Watson
Massages.
anybody. By the way, there's a new claim for Deshaun Watson, and I'm not sticking up for the guy, but I think this is just a pile on Willie. Some chick that might have gone out with him 4 years ago, and she said they were on a date, and he committed sexual battery. Listen.
Hey, look when you've had 38 people come forward and say the same thing, it's tough to tough to dismiss it.
It really is.
One of Hollywood's most prolific actors has died. James Earl Jones was 93 years old.
His stage and his film career spanned more than 6 decades. Dania Bacchus.
Now, he's not the guy that does the new Arby's stuff, is it?
No.
Where's the beef? Or we got the beef.
Is he?
No, that's
It sounds like maybe his son.
Ving Rhames, I think his name is.
Ving Rhames?
Yeah, Ving Rhames.
Is he Bubba? Is James Earl Jones? I know he was Darth Vader. I'm not really a Star Wars guy, but people will come, Ray. Isn't he? If you build it, they will come from Field of Dreams.
Yep. He was on
Lion
Field of
King,
Dreams.
too. He did
Lion
Mufasa.
King. He was Lion King.
God in the movie with Jim Carrey.
I thought it was Morgan Freeman.
Morgan Freeman.
Oh, I thought he was.
I am the Father.
With those 4 words, James Earl Jones made pop culture history as the voice
And
of.
I think, if I remember right, I read something where when they were making Star Wars, they didn't know if it was going to be a hit or not, and they were going to pay James Earl Jones like $28,000 or $48,000 for his role, or he could get like 2 points. And he was like, I don't know, man, 2 points of nothing's nothing. So he ended up taking like the small payday just to, allow me.
$7,000.
Yes, I'm sorry. How much?
Oh my God.
$7,000. Or how much was he? How much were they going to give him points wise?
It looks like he was going to get 5 points.
5 points.
5 points of $1 billion.
Oh,
He
no,
said
not a
$7,000
several billion.
was good money back then.
What's that?
He said he thought $7,000 was really good money back then.
Now, what would 5 points equated out to?
$10 billion, probably
Yeah.
$500 million.
Right.
You don't think he's got to be getting something off the movie, right?
No, he got 18. He got $7,000.
One, but he was in 6 of them.
Did they use his voice for all of them? It wasn't actually him, was it?
Maybe after the first one, you go, okay, I'm going to take the points, right? So maybe the $7,000 was only for the first one, and then after the first one was, at the time, didn't it set all records when didn't Star Wars 1? Didn't it set all types of records when it
think
came
that
out?
and Grease were like 2 of the biggest movies of all time.
Darth Vader in the Star Wars series.
The sun will set on my time here and will rise with you as the new king.
He should be a voice of Alexa. That's where they messed up. Real soothing guy like that. I want him talking to me than this bitch.
Yeah, he was iconic, and he was a great guy, and he'll be missed. His voice was so powerful.
New generations became familiar with his deep voice through his role as Mufasa in The Lion King.
Oh, there's more to being king than getting your way all the time.
Jones was born in Mississippi in 1931 and says as a child he stuttered so badly he didn't speak for years.
Can't wait.
Poetry and later acting helped break his silence.
Are you the Black Hope?
Well, I'm black and I'm hoping.
Jones starred in The Great White Hope on stage and
I like to have that drop. Are you the Black Hope? Well, I'm black and I'm open. Buck comes in with a hundo. Thank you, Buck. Love you, my friend. Got your text. Love you. You're such a good person. Thank you so much for all that you do. I'm black and I'm hoping.
film, earning critical acclaim. The role landed him a Tony, a Golden Globe, and an Oscar nomination.
People will come, Ray.
Jones.
Yeah, right here. I'm sorry, Seth. Right here is Field of Dreams.
That gives me chills.
I watched a thing about Field of Dreams and how I think it was in Iowa that they filmed it, and they were having an unbelievable drought during the time that the studio had set a time because they had to film it in the summertime when the corn grows, and the corn's at its highest about now.
I'm sure Kevin Costner was being a bitch back then,
No,
too.
I'm sure he was. And so they were going, they planted all this, they had the movie set of this, they rented out this farmer's field, and they built all the infrastructure and stuff, and they planted the corn in the spring, just like all farmers do. But then they had this drought, and they were going to start shooting, because they needed the corn to be full grown, and the corn, because I live in Indiana, and it's corn is as popular in Indiana as Iowa.
It is.
But corn is about at its very peak about 2 weeks ago. So if it's at its very highest, and then you start harvesting it the 1st of October. So that's when you start harvesting. It goes from green to brown, and then once it's brown, you start harvesting it. And again, there's most of the corn that you see is feed corn, like they use for feed on animals, and they use for now the majority of the corn is used to make ethanol fuel. And so anyway, they were having this huge drought in Iowa where they had set up all the infrastructure to do the Field of Dreams, and so they had to go out and buy an irrigation system. And so all the farmers around Field of Dreams set, all their corn was dried up and no good, and the Field of Dreams corn was just kicking ass and green, because they had these big fertilizer shooters that would shoot fertilizer over all the corn, and they needed to do that because they had all this money invested into the set and being able to shoot. When you do movies, you have very tight margins and very tight
schedules,
windows, because you're dealing with all these stars and their availabilities and all that kind of stuff. So they developed this huge irrigation system so that the movie went on.
On to star in many movie and TV roles.
Yeah, I bet Costner was a dick. I think has Costner ever not been a dick?
Back in the day when Kevin Costner had a band, what the hell was it called? I don't know.
Country band?
Yeah, he had a country band, and they were coming to town to play a free show for the Rays, because the Rays were changing their uniforms.
Yeah, Kevin Costner in Modern West.
Modern West, and we were playing Modern West music in the morning, and the Rays thought that we were making fun of Kevin Costner, so they pulled their appearance that they were supposed to have on our show.
Now, were you just playing it to be a dick, or were you playing it to promote the event?
Well, yes, we said we were playing it to promote the event, but we were playing it because it was awful music.
It was horrible.
And the Rays sniffed right on through it,
and they said, "You're not getting James Shields, buddy."
And so you could have gotten James Shields with a Kevin Costner kicker.
Yeah.
And instead you got a cancellation.
Yeah. Which asks me why I don't root for the Rays, people.
So when Keith Ballis walked down there, did he tell you that you got a cancellation?
Oh, the Rays controlled, much like Publix, the Rays controlled, everything we did over at Cox.
How can they have their morning man now talk so much crap about the Rays? He's a huge Yankee fan, and he talks so much smack about the Rays. And the Rays, he hates the Rays. So, how does that work?
I don't know. Maybe
it's different rules for different people?
Oh, yeah.
Winning several Emmys, a Grammy for Best Spoken Word, and an honorary Academy Award in 2011.
It'll arrive at your door as innocent as children, longing for the past.
James Earl Jones, was it 93? Yeah, 93, died last night.
Acting was in his blood.
I would have thought making this movie, Field of Dreams, was a risky movie. I understand that Star Wars is a little risky, but it's such an obscure concept, and it was interesting movie, and it turned into being an iconic movie.
Build it and they will come.
Yeah, I understand that. It was a cool movie, but
Dan's right. If
I
you're
wouldn't have invested in that one.
Dan's right. If you're pitching it all right, so this guy's got a cornfield, and then all these old baseball players come out, and only he can see them, and then another guy sees them, and then they go you're going I get out of my office.
We got Ghost Baseball?
Right.
Exactly.
Is that what it's called?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, no, get out of my office. Bring me the new Star Wars script. I'll invest heavily into that, okay? Because Star Wars 1 and 2 killed it. I'm all in on 3, bitch.
His father, Robert Earl Jones, was one of the first prominent black actors in film.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know his dad was an actor. I didn't know that.
Jones was married to actress Cecilia Hart for more than 30 years until she died from ovarian cancer in 2016.
Oh, that sucks.
Jones kept acting.
Now, Dan, let me ask you a question, Dan. If a woman has ovarian cancer, can't you just take out her ovaries?
Till it spreads, and then you're done.
Oh, okay. So if you would catch ovarian cancer early, then you could probably give a woman a hysterectomy, and that might get it all.
Well, the hysterectomy just takes out the uterus. So it would be the oophorectomy that would take out the ovaries.
No, I mean, so hold on. So a hysterectomy doesn't include the ovaries?
When people say total abdominal hysterectomy, it just means they took the uterus and the cervix. It doesn't include the ovaries. A lot of times they do all of it.
Can you still have sex after a hysterectomy?
Oh, yeah.
But do you want it?
Yeah.
Especially
now they give you hormone replacement.
But aren't they taking out some of the
hormones,
some of the go-go juice that makes you want to F?
No.
Into his 80s.
Let me guess. You like Star Wars.
Working on this.
I got it at the Sheldon reference. I'm out.
Oh,
So
you knew who that was?
no, it was young. It was.
Is that How I Met Your Mother?
No, I think that was from the Sun. Was it for?
Yeah.
What's it called?
Third Rock. No, Third Rock.
I don't know.
That was the funny one. It was the.
No, it was the Third Rock from the Sun.
No, it wasn't. It was the one with the three stupid guys that were smart and the girl.
Yeah, what was that? In the young Sheldon's based off of it.
Big Bang.
Big Bang Theory.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hate that. I cannot take that show.
It was stupid.
It
And
just
it had
won.
like 15 seasons.
Oh yeah, and at one time the lead actor was the highest paid television show actor.
Really?
Oh yeah. The guy from
Roseanne?
No. What's the show we're referencing?
Big Bang Theory?
Yeah, look it up. The guy from Big Bang Theory, I think towards the last half of, well, I don't know how many seasons they had.
14 or 15.
I think he was, look it up, Lummy. I think at one time he might have been the highest paid actor on TV. So, Dan, I got to find out where I saw it last night. I saw it on our Twitter. And I'm sorry, I saw it on our Twitter and I retweeted it. And it was about this woman doctor. And I guess a friend of hers friend was suffering from prostate cancer. And they had given...
You're correct, by the way, on the Big Bang Theory. $1 million an episode. He was the highest paid actor on television.
Thank you so much. I got to find it. I retweeted it.
Yes, I'll find it.
Okay, find it for me. She's a doctor, Dan. And I think she's a doctor. And this guy had been given no hope. Stage 4, you're going to die. Went through chemotherapy, went through radiation, and now she says it real quick, and I didn't stop it.
Sent it.
Okay, thank you. She went through something like a medical castration or something like that. Is that where they take off your testicles?
Yes.
And what is that called?
It would be a castration. It would be orchiectomy is the word, the formal word. Orchiectomy.
So
like orchid.
This is 4 minutes, and so that'll take us right into words. Mm-hmm. But I wanted to play this for you because you are one of the more aggressive doctors to the point of damn near getting yourself in trouble. When we were in the midst of COVID-19, you aggressively treated over 500 patients, and your number one go-go juice, your number one, what you used, you mixed, you throw in some Z-Pack, some deoxycycline, some zinc, some B complex, a Z-Pack occasionally, nebulizer, but everything was predicated around ivermectin.
Yes, except for the first maybe 9 months because I was really limited to hydroxychloroquine. One of the real crimes of the COVID epidemic and pandemic was that people were not allowed to share information medically. And it was stricken, and it was censored, and it was discriminated against.
It was also threatened.
Meaning,
it was
if horrible.
You and a doctor from Harvard and a guy from Yale and a guy from Cornell and a guy from Cleveland Clinic all were on an email exchange talking about your remedies and how you were treating COVID-19, that was really, really, really not encouraged, and to the point where they were threatening. I mean, didn't you have to? I hope I'm not saying anything out of turn, but didn't you have to lawyer up a little bit with regards to started getting a little touch and go with they were threatening to potentially look into your medical license and stuff. And here you are prescribing things that are FDA approved that you can go get at CVS.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not like you're back
disgusting.
there in your garage, whipping up some witch concoction or anything like
Yeah,
that.
I wasn't making ecstasy in my bathtub.
No.
I was trying to help people that were dying of a disease that people had very limited knowledge about, using medications that for 15 years have been shown to be effective against this disease, including hydroxychloroquine and ivermectin. Fauci himself said in the early 2000s that hydroxychloroquine is like a vaccine for COVID. So it was just such a disingenuous narrative. But anyway, ivermectin is a fantastic medication. It was universally tolerated, and every single person I put on ivermectin got through COVID without going to the hospital.
Hold on. So ivermectin not only can, what was it initially? Wasn't it initially made for malaria?
No, that was hydroxychloroquine. And
okay.
But ivermectin was for parasites.
Okay.
Like river blindness and some other things like that.
All right. And it was in the 50s that it was invented, and it won a Nobel Peace Prize. Did it not?
A Nobel Prize for medicine, yes.
Okay. So I wanted to watch this. Tell me if you believe it. I'm sure you believe it. And so the drug that was really, really demonized. I mean, CNN reported ivermectin. How are you supposed to say it?
Ivermectin.
They reported, CNN reported that Joe Rogan is taking a horse dewormer.
Yep.
Joe Rogan then had, I think, Gupta? Dr.
Sanjay Gupta.
Dr. Sanjay Gupta on his Joe Rogan podcast, who works for CNN. And Joe Rogan lit his ass up saying, don't you think it's pretty irresponsible that you, as a credible news source, CNN, would report that I was taking a horse dewormer when, in fact, I was not? Ivermectin has, has a veterinary side to it, but I wasn't taking the veterinary side to it. I was taking the people side to it, but that's disingenuous and, quite frankly, flat out a lie. And just because it doesn't toe your corporate U.S. mandated, you can't ever talk about this. I mean, they had ivermectin as the boogeyman.
Oh, yes.
They were ready to put Dan in jail because he was aggressively, prescribing this. Dan had to get on the phone with hundreds of pharmacists and get into shouting matches as to why they wouldn't fill the ivermectin. They just would not fill it. They're like,
There's
no.
states in the Northeast that won't fill it now. For any reason. They will not fill ivermectin for any reason whatsoever.
Listen to this.
They took it off the formularies.
I watched this yesterday. I retweeted it, Lummings. I knew I wanted to play it for Dan. And you know how sometimes after an event or we knee-jerk on something as a country or even as a world, we come back later and say, wow, we really had that one wrong. We really, really had that one wrong. I think this is one of those instances. By the way, this female doctor, Dan, she just has like the Dan-like swagger. Like she really, really, really comes across good. I like this chick, whoever she is. I mean, I don't want to bang her or anything like that. I just really, really appreciate her intellect.
I'm sure she drives a Cybertruck.
Introduced to...
Don't irritate Macho Man. Okay?
Speaking of that, I had people texting me unsolicited texts last night while I'm having dinner for my birthday dinner for my son and heckling me about this Cybertruck. And finally, I'm like, guys, enough. It's not fun anymore.
Here we go.
A patient with stage 4 prostate cancer. Had received 2 vaccines, perfectly healthy, marathoner, no history of cancer in the family. 2 months after his second Pfizer shot, he works for the government. He's going to lose his job and his pension.
Hold on. Let's not let that just gloss over.
Such a threat.
You work for the government, and if you don't get vaccinated, you're going to lose your job and your pension.
Shameful.
The government had that mandate.
Yep.
There were some jobs that if you didn't get the vaccination, if you didn't get jabbed, you got fired.
Including the guys in the military. There's a lot of people in the military that were let go wrongfully.
I really, really regret having gotten vaccinated. I really, really regret it. I do. I wish to God I would have never.
I mean, I begged you.
I know.
Begged you.
And my mom.
And you'd already had it.
I know.
If he wasn't vaccinated, he was diagnosed all at once with stage 4 prostate cancer. He tells a very compelling story, melodramatic story about that 24-hour period of time in his life. And he went through the traditional protocols: radiation, chemotherapy, pharmacologic castration.
Hold on, Dan, right there. What's that?
Okay, pharmacologic. So
when she said that, I was going to ask Dan what that is.
Okay, testosterone is like fertilizer for prostate cancer.
Oh, it is?
So, yes. And so pharmacologic castration means they're blocking the testosterone with a medication.
What if people that take testosterone replacement?
Yes, that feeds prostate cancer.
I know. So is that why people that are taking TRT needs to really keep up on their prostate levels?
Yes, sir.
All of it.
Mine was a 0.1.
Well, that's perfect.
I know, but I'm on testosterone replacement.
Well, just keep checking it and make sure you get those digital prostate exams because they're very sensitive as well.
Over a period
I've been missing those. Hold on.
of 9 months. And then his doctor said, there's really nothing else we can do. And his name is Paul Mann, and he was like, can't you give me more radiation? No. Can't you give me more chemo? No. Aren't there any other drugs? No. Are there any clinical trials? There's nothing. Hospice. Send for the priest.
They send the dude
to his deathbed.
They say no more there's no clinical trials, there's no more chemo, there's no more radiation, there's nothing you can do. We're going to go ahead and sign you up for hospice and go talk to the priest, which is saying you're going to die.
Yep.
So a friend of his knew me, and she said, would you give Paul a call? He just needs some moral support, something. So I said, sure. So I began calling him. We spoke about once a week for 3 weeks. And finally, the poor guy was suffering. He had cancer in 11 bones in his body. His right leg was completely swollen, obstructed with tumor. He's miserable.
Dan, can you tell she's a smart doctor?
Oh, yeah.
Just by the way she talks?
Yeah, she's clever.
And
would you be cool to her? You wouldn't be mean to her?
No, I'm not mean to anybody.
Would you give her a ride in your Cybertruck?
Yeah, absolutely.
Paul, I don't know if this is going to help you, but I know it's not going to hurt you. I just can't imagine, based on my judgment and understanding of the scientific literature and all of the work that Drs. Corey and Merrick had done, and others around the world, that ivermectin would hurt you.
So she's like, listen, it may not help, but it ain't going to hurt you.
And that was the argument. Yes.
Let's load up on it because it's not going to hurt. There's not really too many side effects that's going to hurt you in lieu of what you got, what you're facing. You're facing death. So let's throw the kitchen sink at it. And ivermectin is, a very, I don't know, Dan, to be a lot of side effects. So, there's no downside to throwing that at it.
The biggest side effect it can give you is a tummy ache the first time you take it if you don't take it with food. So, I mean, I had this fight with my aunt and uncle in Jersey a couple months ago when they were sick with COVID. I treated my mom. She was better in 36 hours. My uncle was sick for 3 weeks. My aunt was sick for 10 days. I begged him to take the ivermectin. I'm like, it's not going to hurt you. What's the freaking harm? And they wouldn't take it because they're so stubborn.
Hold on. You're like, you guys live one floor above Arlene, and Arlene got rid of it in 2 days. You guys are up there in a sick ward, dying, and mom's out, hanging 10 with Jay.
Exactly.
Right?
And they still wouldn't do it because they were so brainwashed by CNN telling them ivermectin is dangerous. Ain't nobody died of ivermectin in the whole world that was medically prescribed. Not one.
It might help. I can't say. So he said, I'll give it a try. And he drove to Tennessee where you could get it without a prescription.
Good for Tennessee. I did not know that. In Tennessee, you can buy it over the counter.
Mm-hmm. And you can't buy it at all in Maine.
Right. And good luck in getting it here in Florida. You can get it, but you got to go to a compounding pharmacy because the big, Publix, CVS, Walgreens, none of those will give it to you.
They fight it.
You got to go to Davis Island's pharmacy.
He starts taking ivermectin, and he doesn't have any problems with it. And I talk to him every week.
I wonder how much you can buy in Tennessee, Dan. Next time I know somebody traveling through Tennessee, I'd be like, hey,
buy it all.
Stop and buy me $1,000 worth of ivermectin, right?
Mm-hmm.
2-month follow-up appointment at the clinic. They didn't expect to see him. Okay, he's like, Paul.
Yeah, the clinic's thinking, Dan, he should be dead by now.
Right.
He's feeling a little bit better. They do a PSA, which was off the charts to begin with. And if I'm not mistaken...
Wait till you hear this number.
That PSA is the screening test. It's a blood test, a simple blood test that any man can do and should do at least once every year or two. And if it's elevated, it's a hint that there could be prostate cancer. Right.
And I think the number is like 4.
Yeah, it depends if you smoke and how old you are, but it's a range.
Yeah, like if you're below 3,
you're good.
3, that's in like 3. Like 1, 2, 3.
Mm-hmm.
Wait till you hear what his numbers were when he started.
The time they randomized him to hospice, I think it was in the hundreds, maybe 700, 800.
What is 7 or 800?
I've never heard of a number that high.
What does that mean exactly for the layperson?
Over 4 would be abnormal. Okay, he goes.
So 4 is abnormal. They start getting nervous when you start getting in the high 3s.
Yes.
This guy's 800. Like, that's why they said you're going to die, buddy.
Right.
You're 800.
Back for his 2-month appointment, it's 1.3.
So after ivermectin, he's 1.3.
I wonder how much and how long that he was put on it.
They said, you're in remission. Well, not, complete remission. He still had the bone mets, but you're in like a biochemical remission. Well, that was good news. Slowly, he begins to improve. Less pain, swelling is okay. A lot of other vaccine injuries, however, he's getting better. He's getting better. We're giving him nutritional support and other supplements. So he's getting better. About 9 months later, he's out dancing for 4 hours.
Mommy, he's out cutting a rug.
Oh, yeah, for 4 hours.
For 4
That's
hours.
crazy.
Who is out dancing for 4 hours? Macho Man at an EDM concert?
Right, but it's something like that. I mean, no one's out for 4 hours dancing.
Macho is.
Nights a week. He gets
Hold on. Dancing for 4 hours, 3 nights a week.
Unbelievable.
head to toe, rescanning.
By the way, Dr. Kathleen Rudy, surgeon, researcher, or author. Seems pretty sharp to me.
Yeah, she's a surgeon. A female surgeon, which is rare at that age.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
they didn't let him in.
Yeah, think about how
it's like golf courses.
How she was, scrutinized. And
the hardest. She had a hard. In
order for her to be able to make it through med school and become a surgeon, it was double hard on her because they were like, man, we ain't letting bitches be surgeons. They were letting guys like Daddy Joe Diaco be surgeons.
Right.
Not Kathleen.
3 of the bone mets are gone. There's no growth of the mets that are there. No new lesions. There's only one hot spot, and that's where he received radiation therapy, and the radiologist really could not distinguish whether that was a tumor hotspot or radiation change. He is doing very well. The vaccine injury is a problem, but the cancer is no longer a problem, except for the fact that it's still there, and we want to get rid of it completely. And he said, he called me from a hockey game, and he said, if I didn't know I have cancer, I would not know I have cancer.
So, Dan, when they say vaccine injuries, aren't things now? I think it's all over. I think there's a bunch of things on our X/Twitter, where there are now governments and various medical boards and various other things coming out saying that we are starting to see complications based on people that got the vaccine. Isn't that a thing now, or am I supposed to not? Is that not a thing?
No, it is a thing on Twitter, especially.
It's a thing not only on Twitter, it's a thing in randomized and peer-reviewed research papers. I mean, they're showing elevated mortality rates amongst those vaccinated. They're showing elevated percentages of contraction of the disease of COVID with those being vaccinated. They're showing increased number of myocarditis. Incidence is through the roof.
Isn't myocarditis like one of the ones that like is just like times a million as far as percentages?
It's not times a million, but
No,
it's
I was,
like
of course,
10 times higher,
of course
15 times higher than normal.
Way embellishing it.
It's incredibly elevated. We didn't see athletes just dropping dead on the field
like Bronny James.
Right. I mean, that didn't happen. I mean, when Lenny Bias died, he was loaded with cocaine. There was a reason. His heart didn't explode.
Couple 8 balls.
Right. So it's disgusting how it's still being vilified, and it still helps people. So we need to drop these old prejudices and understand that this vaccine did not stop transmission.
Hold on, I was watching.
It did not prevent infection.
I was watching TV yesterday. Lummy, I forget what. It was a famous either athlete or Post Malone or somebody. No, it was John Legend. It was John. Lummy, you can find me the commercial.
Okay.
John Legend pushing the new vaccination, and they were saying, as you get your flu shot this year, go ahead and double it up with the new COVID-19 vaccination. And it was John Legend, and he was playing a piano that had some kind of bees or honey in it or something like that. And they got I mean, they're still using celebrities to push they're coming up with brand new COVID-19 vaccinations. Why?
There's a lot of money in it. And, these vaccines aren't being tested properly, and the safety protocols are not being followed. Any other vaccine with this elevated incidence of injuries would have been pulled from the market in 2 weeks.
If we're having complications over the first, either now data is coming back where they're having complications on the first rounds of vaccinations, including, people dying, falling over, dying. Why are we still pushing COVID-19 vaccinations? And now they want you to get the flu shot and a COVID shot.
Yep.
Let me see if you can
find. I sent you that, John. I think this is it. He's playing a piano.
Yeah, he is. I'll come back with that. All right.
Want to listen to the show on demand and on the go? Enlist today at BubbaArmyHQ.com. Sign up and start listening. The Bubba the Love Sponge show will be back after this.
Hello, Seffi. What's up, boy?
Legend. How do you keep your boy?
Here it is.
John Legend. How do you keep your voice out of so lovely memories? Honey. And how do I keep my protection against COVID-19? With a COVID shot this season.
Yeah.
I'll be right back. I just gotta go dabbing.
All right.
Bush Bob, Big Buck, Kenny Powers, Big E. The on door. Seven.
I think Fish on the J came back with a PayPal Willie. Thank you, Fish on the Jizz. Fizz on the Jizz. I love vaccines, baby. I wish they were BOGO.
XXL Gaming, Organic G, Morning Group Ellipse, Photo Prez. Dark Match, Duck God, Dutch Duke.
Oh no, there's a weather event.
Snizzlux, Lizair.
Oh my God, look. Weather event. Ooh, is that coming towards us?
No.
Shit!
Gotta still work.
You looking for some action, Seth? I can use a little action this weekend. Little weather action? I could use a weather event. This is normally the worst month. Yeah, September is usually the worst. They said it's been a very, very quiet season.
That's
It's supposed to be the worst season of all time.
I know, that's all spring. That's all they talked about. Global warming.
And we've had probably the most rain ever, but we haven't had it in hurricane form. Right.
It is the most rain we've had in a long time. Record breaking.
Oh, the sand.
My track is fucked.
The Bubba the Love Sponge Show, listener supported via PayPal, Venmo, and Cash App. All at the Bubba Army now returns.
Tonight, we're doing a debate show. Tonight's the infamous presidential debate, which I'm assuming is going to be the last one. I did see where Elon Musk sent out an invitation to both Kamala Harris and Donald Trump and said, let's do the final presidential debate on X. The questions will come from, people on from X people.
Legit usernames.
Yeah, legit. Donnie's boy 1019. Kamala's a C word 416.
Is he doing this because he knows that Trump will accept and Kamala will not?
I think so. It's brilliant.
And then he'll just get a town hall with Trump.
I know. Yeah, and he said if Kamala says no, then he's just going to do a town hall with Trump.
And she was saying that he was running from debates. Remember that for about a week or two, she said, "Oh, Donald Trump's afraid to do a debate." She won't do anything. She won't do an interview. She's barely going to do the debate.
Tonight, the rubber meets the road, my friend.
Yep.
Tonight, the rubber meets the road, and we will be there to break it down. Brian will be here. Dan will be here. Lummy, we're all going to be here. We're all going to be here.
I'm wearing my Kamala 47 shirt, baby. My mom had one on when I went to go watch the Bears on Sunday.
For real?
I was like,
of course she did.
What was a bootleg? I said, Mom, where did you get this? She's like, oh, on Amazon.
I got it on Amazon.
I said, that's not even officially helping her campaign.
Right, you might be helping some Republican dude.
I said, that's what I said.
She might be doing like, are you familiar with the Brian Bosworth Texas scam?
Me? No.
Okay, so Brian Bosworth, you know who I'm talking about, right? The famous linebacker from, was it Nebraska, Lummy? Or Oklahoma.
Oklahoma.
Okay, so he was the Boz. And remember, he had created this alter ego called the Boz. And, he was the man. And he had, he was kind of like...
he was like Brock Lesnar before there was Brock Lesnar. He was massive.
He was but more importantly, marketing-wise...
He was cool.
He was cool. And, Lummy, was he before or after Dion?
Before,
he was before Dion.
Yeah. So he created kind of this alter ego called the Boz, and the Boz was this badass middle linebacker who just, was really outspoken and would just, get in the papers leading up to the game and talk smack about, everybody on the team and then go out there and whip their ass. Well, their arch rival was Texas. And Lummy, his T-shirt company made a T-shirt that said the Boz with a big, how they had the red line through it,
smoking not loud, like a circle on a line.
Yeah. So it was they were just standard white T-shirts made in Oklahoma colors, and it said the Boz with a big slash, red, big red, no smoking, thing, like, anti-Boz shirts. And when they played Texas, they sold these outside the stadium, and everybody bought them because everybody hated them. It was a home game for Texas, and so he came in there the week before, just talking all kinds of smack. I'm going to kill him. Texas sucks. I'm the Boz. So when you're a Texas fan and you're walking up to the game and they're like, Boz sucks T-shirts for $15, man, everybody was buying. The whole stadium was. In fact, they sold out. I think they made like 50,000 of them or something, Lummy, and they sold. It was Boz's idea. He's the one that developed the T-shirt, and it was his company that was selling them.
Is there any way that I might be able to just give you a little bit of backside so we don't get too much heat?
Am I missing the?
Yeah.
Okay. Am I way uninformed?
Yeah.
So
no, not way uninformed.
Give me back on track. Okay. I just know that I read something back in the day, and I was paraphrasing. So if you could backfill me so that we're factual and get less heat, I'd appreciate it.
Yeah. So it happened after he was out of college because they weren't allowed to have deals like that back then without the NIL. So it was when Seattle was playing Denver, and he made the Boz Busters like no Boz sucks, and he had over 10,000 Denver fans when they were going to go play Denver.
Right.
Buy the T-shirt for $15. Anti-Boz T-shirts, and it was his T-shirt company at the time.
Okay, so it wasn't in college; it was when he was in pro.
Yeah.
Okay. But my premise of the fact that he duped the opposing team into buying his Boz Sucks T-shirt, and the Boz Suck T-shirt company was his T-shirt company.
Yeah, and I think I just watched the same documentary as you. He did say he wished that he could have done it in college. Against like Texas, Oklahoma State, all those teams.
He could have if he just would have gotten some rich friends like the Diacos to put all the money up and buy him and then pay him once he gets out of college, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Dan, if he didn't have anything to do with the company and the Diaco brothers T-shirt company made him, and they're like, hey, Boz, when you get out of college, we're going to cut you a check for 50%. But it's going to take, once you graduate, or you're no longer eligible to be an NCAA athlete, we'll cut you a check.
Why couldn't he just be an investor in a T-shirt company in college?
I don't think he can be.
Well, maybe now it's not a big deal, but at the time that wouldn't seem illegal or contraindicated.
Well, neither would be the Diaco brothers printing either.
Mm.
Steven could cut that deal, right?
Of course.
Steve, go talk to the boss. Tell him you guys get 50 points. He gets 50 points, but he didn't get his for 3 more years, and we're just gonna make Boz Sucks T-shirts and go to every stadium he plays, and we're gonna sell them out. Because they hate. Let me remember how much they hated him.
They hated him.
They hated him. They didn't really hate Dion. Dion wouldn't. He wasn't really hated. He was just flat. Because you know why? Dion could back it up.
And he was funny about it too.
Yeah.
Boz wasn't as funny about it. Dion was really amusing. and entertaining.
I'm a little bit worried about my friend Dion right now.
Well, yeah, a lot of people are piling on him, especially that fake touchdown story.
What do you mean?
Fake touchdown story.
Supposedly, which it's been brought up. I think
By the way, Fish on the J, $50 on the PayPal, Venmo, Cash App.
Supposedly,
at the Bubba Army. Thank you so much for the loyal Bubba Army that keeps us afloat. We love you. Go ahead.
Supposedly,
by the way, that latest cough was not mine.
That was mine. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
He instructed.
See, I get blamed for a lot of people's coughs around here. They automatically blame me.
I'm sorry. He instructed the band, supposedly at the beginning of the year, to not play the fight song after the touchdowns that the Colorado scores, but to play Shador's rap song.
After Shador scores a touchdown,
correct.
right?
Yeah, and he banned them playing the fight song, which is not true because like yesterday.
Well, they saved the fight song for after the PAT.
Correct, and that's
so after the touchdown, they do indeed play the rap song.
Yes,
but they save the fight song for after the.
But people
the
are
field
making
goal.
See, I don't have a problem. I don't listen.
But
I
was saying I did video research last night, just trying to prove the point. In 2019, before Dion, they played the fight song after the PAT, so it's all the same. So they're just trying to bury Dion now.
So at this point, Dion said, "We're going to keep the fight song after the PAT, like we've historically done. Even when we used to win no games, right?
Yeah,
and didn't probably kick that many PATs, but." What I'm going to have you do is if Shador scores a touchdown, I want you to play his song. And then play that PAT song, what we've historically played then play the fight song after the PAT, which makes sense because, I can see where you would play the fight song after the PAT because now the play, after you score a touchdown, there's one more play left.
Right, and it's 40 seconds.
To put an exclamation on either you're going to go for 2 and you're going to fail or not, or you're going to go for 1 and you're going to fail or not, but you're going to celebrate the touchdown. So the touchdown's not complete until the PAT attempt, whether it fails or not. And I don't know, maybe there's a lot of schools that have that rule, and it sounds like Dion's just continuing the Colorado tradition. The only thing that's been added is play Shador's song when he scores or throws a touchdown.
Well, yeah, and they're making it sound...
To me, that's, that's just people piling on, knowing that Dion's down right now. And listen, Dion remedies all this with a convincing victory. Listen, Nebraska's tough. Nebraska's and is it Mark Rule? Is that his guy?
Nebraska, yeah.
That guy's money. That guy's a good coach. And he's really turned that program around. And Nebraska's not a powder puff that they used to be when Scott Frost was there. They're a good team.
Back in the day, they were an amazing team.
Well, yeah. Then they went through a 15-year period where they sucked, and they brought Scott Frost in because he supposedly was God for what he had did to UCF. And then they sucked for his 4 years, and then they brought in Rule, and Rule has turned the program, and now they're playing Nebraska ball, hard nose, beat you up in the trenches, white boy corn-fed football. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I'm not trying to be racist or anything like that, but that's what Nebraska's back, or at least on track to being Nebraska-like. And so listen, on a positive note, Dion's team didn't allow any points in the second half and scored 10. Now, there's a lot of things they did wrong, including on both of their games. They came out soft in the first half. They have to fix that. Now, if Dion remedies now Colorado State's not Nebraska, but if you beat Colorado State pretty good, by at least a couple touchdowns, Lummy, I think the verdict is still out on Dion. The season's not over. It's not a bust. He's not a failure. You got to give a coach 4 years. You got to give a coach 4 years. You got to have him see his recruiting class through. Maybe in today's era, Seth Rett might know more than I do. Maybe the window of college coaching has shrunk to 2 years. I don't know.
I think you get 2. There's no following your class through anymore with the portal.
There isn't there?
And Dion's changed that team over, I don't know, probably twice since he's been there.
I think it also depends on how much pull you have with the athletic director. Like in Florida, Billy Napier, I don't think he's going to have a job for the rest of the season, but the reason he hasn't been fired by now is because he's in so tight with the AD they have there.
Well, Dion's in with the AD, obviously.
Yeah, he's making a lot of money. I sent you the tweet that's making everyone turn on Dion from Barstools. Because if you read it, it just makes him sound like such a douche, and that's what everyone's saying.
I did listen. I saw Shannon Sharp, and I think it was Chad Ochocinco break down. I saw their podcast yesterday, and they were kind of breaking down. And they're both friends of Dion. In fact, Chad Ocho, I think they both attended Colorado games, and they were not giving Dion a pass. They were, skeptical on his offensive and defensive line, and they were concerned for him. They weren't mean-spirited. They weren't talking out of turn. They were just spitting facts. And I thought it was a good podcast. This is the Deion Sanders reportedly told the Colorado band it can't play the fight song after Shedeur Sanders throws a touchdown pass, so the stadium can play his rap song instead. Now, that's true, but Lummy has now
Neil Malpazier, $20.
Gone back and researched that the standing rule for the Colorado band has been to play the Colorado fight song after the point after attempt.
I sent you a video from 7 years ago that I found last night, and you can obviously see that they're playing the fight song after they kick the field goal.
But isn't it weird to play his rap song?
Oh, he's scoring the touchdown.
I mean, here's the deal, man. If
there's no team in Colorado, Bubba, it's the Sanders and it's Travis Hunter and it's everybody else.
I'm starting to see that.
Yeah, but I mean, there's no point to bury him. I mean, they're just not kicking him down.
What are they, 1-1?
They're
1-1, and they're ready to cancel the whole season over it.
So, Lummy, this is Colorado. They successfully.
You can see kick and field goal.
Right. You can see this is. I think this
extra
is
point.
This is Colorado. I think.
Yes.
Running off, and they're running off the field because they just kicked the PAT.
Right, and there's a timeout now too.
And there's a timeout.
Change of possession.
And now the band fires up the school song.
You can't do that. Run through the end zone when they're about to kick a point after.
Hey, can you imagine them trying to line up for an extra point right now?
Yeah,
can you imagine
can't do
them
that.
trying to line up an extra point? The flags are going by.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
And the kicker hits a line drive and it hits the flag. And it would have gone through if it hadn't hit the L in Colorado, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And the guy that carries the L in Colorado now is the biggest dick ever because he caused the guy to miss it.
Here's the thing, though, Bubba. It's it's just more kind of just along the lines of it's just about Shedeur because you have this, whether it's right or wrong, or whether it's been going on. You have Deion Sanders let I believe Shiloh and Shedeur go to Paris Fashion Week during spring practice and everything, and then there was another event where Shedeur was in a fashion show last year and he made the whole team go. So there's just a lot of stories coming out just about where he almost forces the team to rally around Shedeur.
Yeah, and that's not right. And I think two things. One, it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out this year, Colorado success-wise. Right? I mean, it's going to. They got some tough games ahead of them.
Oh yeah.
Do they win 6 and make a bowl? I think it's 50-50 at this point. And then the other thing, Seth, I think is very interesting. There's a lot of reports that if Deion doesn't do well this year, that he'll just retire and manage his son in the NFL. I've heard that as well, that this is an opportunity for him to say, okay, my son's through. And, I guess at that point it would make Deion look somewhat very selfish because I don't think that Colorado hired him with that mentality.
Right.
Of course.
How good do you think he's going to be in the pros?
I don't know yet. I don't know yet.
I think, and I know that people are going to say I'm just trying to stick up from Deion because he's your friend, but when you get transfer portals of your whole offensive line, people don't understand with offensive linemen, which I think Colorado's linemen are going to get better later in the year because you bring in guys and you don't know your weaknesses. If me and Dr. Dan and Seth got in an offensive line and we went out and played one game, I don't know your weakness. You don't know my weakness. Even though you practice, you're not playing against different guys.
And here's the deal. And Lummy are former offensive linemen. Me, on the high school level, I was a captain and a right tackle, right guard. Lummy, you on the collegiate level, I think tackle.
Yes.
And so I saw a statistic yesterday. I'm sorry, last week during the ball game, where the Nebraska offensive line had a total of 156 combined starts amongst the 5 guys.
You know their weaknesses.
Whereas the the Colorado guys had had one start, which would have been the North Dakota State game. They had one start. And so you're right. When you play with a guy and you're like, okay, listen, you know what I need? If I don't got a guy covered up on me, I know that my right tackle is a little suspect. I need to go chip that guy. Or my center is a little weak. I need to double team the nose guard. But you learn that through playing with a guy and knowing what his weaknesses are. You know, like if you're my tackle and I'm your left guard, and we have this edge rusher that's all world, and he usually can get a step on you, and I'm not covered up or I don't have a linebacker shooting through, then I'm going to come over and help chip him for you.
Yeah.
But I only know that because I've played with you for a season, and we've talked, and you've told me, hey, man, we're playing this badass edge rusher this weekend. If you can come over and help me chip when you're uncovered, please do.
Yeah.
Well, the coaches will tell me that.
Yeah.
I mean, the coaches will be like, Clem, go help Garrison out when you don't got anybody, shotgunning you for a blitz and you're uncovered. Center, the nose guard isn't all world, but we got this all world edge rusher that Lummy's going against. You got to help him.
But it's also just knowing and kind of being able to communicate with each other.
It's all of Deion's problems are defensive and offensive line. Every bit of his problem. That little Joe Horn Jr., former USF guy, that guy could fly.
He sure can.
He can fly. Travis Hunter, even if you hate Deion, you gotta really, I'm going to be honest with you. I think he's a better player than Shador. I think Travis Hunter is all that. My Lord, did you see that catch he made in the first game?
Yeah, that was awesome.
John Legend, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, we're just ordinary people. Wasn't that his big hit, Seth?
What was it? I don't know.
Yeah, we're just ordinary people. Watch me pull a pop culture song right out of my ass over you, buddy. You were Johnny 97X. You're supposed to know what's cool. And hold on. Most recently, 1015. Top 40 Willie.
Yeah.
You know it all.
10 years ago.
John Legend, ordinary people.
John Legend didn't have a lot of radio stuff.
Yeah, he did. The hell he didn't.
Well, he's R&B, Bubba. What are you playing on top 40?
I listen to R&B, cousin.
You might wonder, John Legend, how do you keep your voice sounding so legendary?
Because Pfizer pays me $5 million. I wonder what Pfizer... Dan, they probably have no budget.
No budget.
Billions
and billions and billions.
Let me look and see what the CEO of Pfizer made last year, if you could.
And the more people they pay, the fewer people are looking at them.
Hold on.
Honey, and how do I keep my protection against COVID-19 up to date? With a COVID shot this season, designed for recent variants.
Hold on. So now they're widening it out, saying, with a COVID shot this season, designed for recent variants. So they're just clumping them all together, man, hoping grandma gets that shot. And you know what? Do you know how many? It would be interesting if there's a statistic on the percentage of people that got shot one compared to, I don't know what shot number they're on now. They got to be on shot 6 by now.
Oh, well, you got your boosters every year. So 2 and 20, and then 21, 22, 23. So at least 5.
So in 2022, we made $24.3 million, a 15% increase.
Now this is the CEO.
Yes.
Right. So in what year?
2022.
2022, the CEO of Pfizer made
$24.3 million.
$24 million.
Which was a 15% increase.
2023?
$33 million.
2024?
It's not out yet.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We're not done.
But he got a 36% pay hike.
Right, so we're talking $60 million in 2 years?
Yes.
To jab people?
Yes.
With a COVID shot this season, designed for recent variants.
Designed for recent variants. And that makes, Janie Cakes and Elise and all that. Go get them. I got to get it for the recent variant. Just because it's making my blood turn into spaghetti.
Or honey wax.
Maybe the honey wax is showing what happens to the blood in your veins.
It gets all thick.
Well, isn't there anything that's happened in your life lately that changes your perspective on COVID or anything like that, or you still feel the same way about it?
I'll tell you what's changed. Is the fact that I've gotten it 4 times, and I have recovered from it through Dan's concoction, and I think I've built maybe now a natural immune system to it. So that's what's changed in me is the fact that I got the first 2 boosters, the first 2 shots, because my mom begged me to get them. And I've not gotten one since, and I've gotten the COVID probably 3 times since my vaccinations, and I've been okay. I've not got any other vaccine. So if you're supposed to have 5 or 6 in you, I'm down 3 right now. if I was right, right up to if I was to stay on vaccination schedule, I'm down 3. I'll never get another one. And Seth, I've survived every COVID, and none of them have been that big an issue. Now,
I was just more talking about it's the one in your family.
Yeah, I don't think he was referring to that, Bubba. I think he was referring to more recent events.
Oh, Jeff?
No, your mother-in-law.
Oh, yeah. I think she was fully. I take that back. She got 2. Now my stepfather, I think, got them all, and I am not. And our family has often spoke about. We feel that might be a mitigating factor as to why he died.
Aggravating.
Yeah, well, same thing. I guess not. In my world.
The fresher, the
Isn't
better.
it weird? The bugs, the flies, like it's like a flies around a dead person. I mean, it's such a weird visual.
Let's watch it without interruption.
COVID shot this season, designed for recent variants.
They got bees inside of a piano, and then looks like they have like a tap, and John Legend opens his tap up. A bee comes outside the glass, and he pours himself a glass of honey.
The fresher, the better. Got it?
Pfizer has aired its new commercial featuring John Legend. John Legend, partnering with Pfizer, shares his health secrets and urges you to get your COVID-19 vaccine booster. In a
wasn't Gronk?
Kelsey.
Yeah, it was Kelsey. Flu and COVID shot.
Oh yeah, but wasn't Gronk? Did he do the vaccination?
I don't think so.
Harmonious setting. Legend plays surrounded by golden honey, symbolizing well-being. Nature's sweetness echoes the importance of health. He sings "The Fresher, the Better," a tune for well-being. Leading by example, Legend reveals his booster. Stay protected. Schedule your vaccine appointment today.
And can you still get it for free? Like, do you literally call your pharmacist and say, I'd like to come in for my COVID-19 latest vax? And do they say, okay, that'll be $0, Mr. Clem, just come in and get jabbed? Do they do that? I mean, I thought that the government still pays for it.
Right now, they're trying to get your insurance to pay for it. So I'm not sure how that works.
Oh, that's even more of a shakedown.
So the CEO of Pfizer has made $122 million since 2020.
What's the profits of Pfizer been since 2020?
$8 billion.
Bill, as in B?
Yeah, that's what my guess is.
When I come back, there's a woman now that went on a date with Deshaun Watson, quarterback, Cleveland. Is that going to go down as one of the stupidest trades ever?
Yes.
Was it 2 firsts?
I think it was 3 firsts and $200 million guaranteed.
Hold on, 3 firsts?
Yes.
Rhett, can you verify? Was it 3 firsts?
I think so. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was. I mean, Texans are set up.
Seth, when's the last time somebody gave up 3 firsts for anybody?
I think it was when the 49ers traded up to get Trey Lance.
So
3 firsts.
Texans got 5 draft picks in total, 3 first rounders, 2023 third, and a 4th rounder, and the Browns got a Deshaun Watson and a 5th rounder.
And the Browns ship Baker. Originally goes out to the Rams. He kind of gets his swag back.
Carolina first.
Carolina first. Sucks there. Then goes as a Rams backup. Kind of gets a little swag. Bucks pick him up. Now, I mean, Bucks should probably be thinking long-term contract for this guy. Right?
Yeah, he got his deal last year.
How many years did he get?
3.
All right.
Puts him in his 30s.
He looks good as hell. I mean, he just, I don't know. I think the Rams really swagged him up, and now Bowles is using him the way he's. I mean,
I don't think he was at the Rams as long as you think he was.
Was there 2 years, wasn't he?
2
No,
games.
he was there for like 2 weeks.
Yeah, he wasn't there long.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was 2 years.
He did play under Liam Cohen, who was their current offensive coordinator, so he did have some say-so in the hiring process. But yeah, Bucks gave him a good deal last year, and when you look at the quarterback market, it's a good deal for the Bucks because they still got him for the next couple of years. And,
and they got it for
Dak
what?
Prescott's making $60 million a year now. Baker's making half of that.
What's Baker making? Is he a $30 million
yeah,
guy?
A little over 30, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
See, how about that? You scoff at that now. That used to be the oh wow number. Like just 5 years ago, a quarterback making 30 was like when Stafford and all those guys signed their $30 million
top tier quarterback.
No, they were like, oh my God, $30 million. Even when Brady came to the Bucs, he was 2 years guaranteed $50 million.
Bucks let Jameis walk over $30 million. I mean, they obviously had decided to look at free agency anyways, but the report out of his camp is that they had wanted like around $30 million a year for his contract negotiations, and the Bucks were not feeling
What's
it.
Jameis making now? $3 million, $4 million for backup Willie?
Probably.
He's about to be the starter.
Yeah.
Is he really?
I mean, he's in Cleveland. If they're going to keep riding with Watson, they're not going anywhere.
And I know it's more allegations, but this Deshaun Watson stuff is just gross. Did you read the details and the story? This one's bad. It happened in 2020. He was at this girl's house.
Can you get it to me?
Yes, I'll find you the link.
Give me the details. We'll do that next. Thanks.
If you liked that segment, then you'll definitely like the new redesigned BubbaArmyHQ.com. We'll be back to the Bubba the Love Sponge show after this.
Billion.
188 billion.
Oh my God.
That's a lot of money.
See, I thought you said like 800 million. I'm like, Jesus.
No. I think I said 8 billion.
But they didn't add any 8 billion in a very long time of profit.
Wow.
Oh,
I was 8 billion just in America, just the first year.
They did have a decline.
Ask who's made in America the first year. I guess we 8 billion. I can't come in my head.
They need to be assembled. So I'll tell Lummy about that.
All right, they're out front.
Well, 9 billion.
Okay, they're out front?
Yep.
But 8 billion dropped back. I did see something in that range.
Yeah, because
they're making like 8 billion a year.
50
Thank
billion
you.
in 2020, 65 in 2021, then had a decline in 2020. Oh, you know what? I counted out. I didn't see it as a decline. All right, so it was 150 billion.
Oh, my bad.
See if I can find these tapes.
Lummy, is Rhett sending that to me or you?
I sent your story on Deshaun, but I think he is.
Tell him to send it to me.
What should be in that story, right? The one that you had pulled up?
It didn't look like it was.
No, that was a link. That's an article.
Oh, okay, I gotta find that again. Fuck.
It's all right.
Well, but Macho said to not open Tom Bean's email. It's a scam.
What?
Tom Bean sent emails to us. Macho said don't open it.
Why?
Well, that's weird.
It's a scam. It's not.
It's not a real Tom Bean.
It's not a real.
What up, Hoss? What up, GR? What up, Babe? Did I get it too? Nope, no fake Tom Bean over here.
I sent you the story from Rhett.
I believe in a thing called love. What up, Ellen Close? Just a sliver of my heart. I believe in a thing called love.
So don't open. Well, which one?
He said the one that says free camera.
Okay, delete that?
Yes.
Okay. Hey, Lummy,
Yes.
resend me that Deshaun thing.
Okay.
What's up, Abe from Maine?
What up,
I don't
Iggy?
think
What
you
up,
buy
Nick?
it
What up,
right
Ellen Close? I might have said hi to Ellen Close already. My bad.
Sunny days.
Send it again.
I'm not sure what's in the NFL contracts at all. There's some stuff, but I don't think it's ever cut and dry. I mean, I think Wander Franco's still getting paid, isn't he?
No.
No.
MLB has that. There's a clause. If you're like suspended or.
I don't know, man. His money's guaranteed, so I don't know if that means guaranteed through thick and thin or if that means guaranteed, but if he's a bad boy, he doesn't get it. What up, Don? What's up, Quicker Ticker?
Morning, Mitch.
Thank you, Knight Rider. I'm trying to pump out some good stuff.
Jay Fish. Grossly inappropriate. Small samples. Steve Coco. GC
Like that
Supply.
podcast numbers are on the way back up.
For all his
What up, Timothy?
What's up, Mitch? Shane Brown's brother.
God damn it. Let me give me this. Here, let me send it.
That's Rusty name. Joanne.
Somebody get it to me. It kept giving me, I gotta sign up for a fucking Yippee-O. Is there actually a newscast on it?
Being polite.
No.
I just can't believe how many people are.
ESPN doesn't cover this.
The Orlando Content House Shindig. It's going to be a bunch of dudes doing stuff dudes do. Happening November 15th and 16th. If you want to come see this freak show, email us orlando@bubbaarmyhq.com. Let the crew know if you want to be registered for Friday Night Fight Night. orlando@bubbaarmyhq.com. The BTLS show now returns.
Lummy, with regards to the Content House, I think has anybody heard from Colton with regards to me addressing their demand letter, their demand, if you will?
Yeah, he was in chat yesterday.
Yeah, he responded yesterday.
He said thank you so much.
Perfect. And if you will,
Yeah,
hold on. That's coming from. Got something open. Let me find out where I got open. Stand by. All right, there we go. So the only thing I ask is that because we're going to be doing other content houses down the road, maybe we establish after this particular Orlando content house that the Tuttle and Colton sleeps in the front as security guards, unarmed security guards. Well, no, armed, but with just not guns. Like slingshots, baseball bats.
Slingshots.
Yeah.
That's a great way to arm them.
Yeah. Give them slingshots and marbles, right? Give them a pack of marbles. And because, man, you get hit. I will tell you this, man. If you would get one of those, we've all seen them when we were kids. Remember, Lummy, if you had a badass slingshot, you had the one that went down and then went
wrist
down.
rocket.
Yeah, the wrist rocket.
Yep.
And it had like the leather patch where you could put, the where you could hold whatever you were slinging and you could really wing it back.
That's surgical tubing.
Yep.
Yeah, surgical tubing. And I mean, you could wing a rock 900 miles an hour. Like you could, I mean, it would kill you if it hit somebody in the head. So marbles. Iggy McGillicuddy, Lummy, 25. So I think it's Super Chat Willie.
Yes, it is.
Thank you, Egg.
Thanks.
See you at Barb. So, Lummy, like, if we give them up, marbles are probably, Dan, the best thing to slingshot because they're consistent, like, in far as they're round.
Yeah, because a rock can catch the wind funny and veer off.
Right. Or you might not be able to get a good hold of a rock as you're slinging it back, but, the proper size marble that just fits right in that little pouch, you could really mess people up.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I wonder if we could like marble somebody in the. Dan, if you marbled somebody in the butt, could it potentially hurt them bad?
In the butt?
Yeah.
You could bruise them.
Yeah, maybe we could marble Tuttle in the butt. You know what I'm saying?
Have Colton marble on.
Thing about it is if it goes, we'd have to put like
It's
maybe
not going to go up his butt, dude. Come on. It's a marble.
Yeah, it's a marble.
Through his pants.
Yeah, just have him put jeans on and then maybe put cardboard.
Why?
Well, no, put cardboard like above his waist and cardboard below his waist.
Oh, in case you miss?
In case you miss.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to be hitting him in the back of the knee. What if you marbled him in the back of the knee? That could probably cause some ligament damage or something like that, right? You had a marble going 5,000 miles an hour.
So wrap him in cardboard?
Yeah, wrap him in. No, you know
like
what
a
we'll
robot?
do?
Like
No. I'll go down to the UPS store and buy a whole bunch of bubble wrap, and you just bubble wrap him except his butt, and then you marble Lummy his butt.
And when they ask you how much bubble wrap you need, say enough to ship a human.
Enough to wrap a human. Enough to wrap a human with the exception of his ass.
Just say it's a mannequin.
So anyway, Lummy, we bubble wrap Tuttle except for his ass, and then we marble, and then we take in one of those wrist rockets, and you marble his ass.
There you go.
Yeah. That would be the we don't even do stunts anymore, but that sounds like a pretty damn good stunt to me.
Wow, what a deal for Tuttle! all to go to the content house for free, sleep outside, and get shot in the ass.
With the marble? No, get marbled.
Marbled in the.
Baba, I've never been. No, I've knocked out 38 girls on the intergender kitchen, but I've never had my ass marbled, Mr. Sponge. Don't know if I'm quite ready for that. Hello.
Yes, this is Florida Audio. And Chad, how's it going, man?
Good, bud.
Hey, podcast was absolutely amazing yesterday. If you haven't heard it, go check it out. It was one for the books for sure. I got a quick question for Dr. Dan.
All right.
Dr. Dan, I got psoriasis and psoriatic arthritis, and I have, I think what they call hammer toe on my left foot, on my second toe in. Is that something I should be concerned with, or
no?
Just ride it out?
It's nothing concerning. If it bothers you or gets blisters all the time, you can get it fixed by, go to a podiatrist.
I mean, if it's so hammered that it's tucking under, maybe. But if it's just, a little bit bigger and a little hammered, it shouldn't impede you much.
Well, it looks like Mount Everest versus my other side is straight as can be. Arizona desert.
If it's just aesthetically longer, but it's not like curling under or anything like that. Not that I'm trying to be a doctor, but I think I'm right, Dan. Right? If it's just aesthetically,
yeah. If it's getting like blisters, if it's getting in the way, if it hurts with wearing shoes, those are the reasons to fix it. Not just because it's ugly.
Yeah. Just now. So you're saying, is there any pain involved, or it's just unsightly?
No, it just looks like it's growing a mountain.
All right. So then again, it's not hurting you. It's just unsightly.
Yeah, you can still get it fixed. Yes, it's just not an emergency.
I mean, but how vain do you got to be if you're like even your toes got to be perfect?
Well, I mean, if a person's got like a crazy toe, I mean, just imagine if you had 31 beautiful teeth, but you had one that was like just way out in left field.
No, but hold on. Everybody can see your teeth. Nobody can see your goddamn hammer toe.
In Florida, they do. Everyone's got flip-flops in this state.
Please.
I see more men toes than I care to.
Oh, whatever.
One more quick question before I let you go. Now, is that have anything to do with my psoriatic arthritis, or that's just something different?
That's probably something different.
Those go hand in hand.
I don't think it goes hand in hand.
I think you're a hypochondriac.
So appreciate it.
All right, you too. Appreciate
it. He's got a messed up toe and he's scared, Bubba, and he called us. Okay, we have to. We got to be there for him. We're the outlet for people with scared toes.
Number one with hammer toes.
We have to be.
You. And. So anyway, Lummy, I want Tuttle and Colton to know that I need them to pack all that stuff up when we're done nicely.
Okay.
As nice as like it almost take all the air out of the air mattresses, pack them back in their boxes, roll up the sleeping bags, pack it back in its little duffel bag, whatever. Take the tent, see if you can get it back in its original boxing, because we're going to do the content house at other places. And, I'd like to potentially use this stuff again. They're the only ones that would have slept on it. So it's not, and we'll store it in a dry, clean place here at work.
Colton will probably take it to get dry cleaned. He's such a dude. I don't think you have to worry about that at all.
All right. So anyway, Lummy. And then the other thing, Lummy, I beg of you. You know what, Lummy? I'll give you a $50 bonus.
Oh, well, thank you.
If you put together our podcast chairs came.
Oh, nice.
But I think they may have to be assembled.
Okay.
On it, boss man.
Seth, I don't want you assembling anything.
I got a Phillips head in my car.
No.
Perfect. I think it's just a flat head.
It's actually a head.
Yeah.
Some guy named Philip.
Exactly. I'd like for either Lummy or Macho Man to put those together, please, so that the first time we have a guest that doesn't fall flat down on the ground. As soon as somebody plops their ass down in there to do our first podcast with my new chairs, it doesn't break because Seth put them together.
No problem.
So
sometimes I like to get my hands dirty, Bubba.
Okay, that's great. Shoot some hoops with the basketball outside. That'll get your hands dirty.
Huh.
So let me $50 bonus if you get those put together.
Yes, sir. Woo.
Then you got to remind me though after you got them put together. Don't forget I was supposed to get a bonus for that.
Okay.
That's what we need to find out with this Browns team. What are they going to be with Deshaun Watson at quarterback? Because he's dragging them down.
Yeah. All right. So let's start with the Browns before we start with the Cowboys.
Sure. I'm trying to be positive.
Well,
you're negative.
You just threw
you're
it to me with
shitting
the
on
Browns
everybody.
thought.
All right.
But
they might be breaking down the game. I sent you a CBS one just in case.
All right, I've been getting all kinds of this. When I click on this, that's where it took me.
I think they were breaking down the
game. Yeah. I want the sexual assault deal.
I sent the CBS one.
But is it?
It's a video.
All right, cool.
I think it's from this morning. It is from this morning.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Food from scratch late night, unless you're Boy Tropical. We got mouth-watering favorites from Troppy Chops to platters and more. Real
By
food.
the way, I like that place.
Pollo Tropical?
Yeah, I like that place.
The one up the street. There's one up the street.
Where?
Right on the West Shore by the mall. Before the International Mall.
Really?
Yeah, right there. That's
by the Penthouse Club?
Across the street.
Oh, like where Olive Garden and Lone Star.
It's literally across the street from the Penthouse.
Is it by Longhorn?
He said it's across from Penthouse.
I don't think that's Apollo Tropical, but there's Pollo Tropical on Waters.
Food, real fresh.
Yeah, Dan, I don't know there's a Polio Tropical. I don't know if there's a Polio Tropical.
Dan, you don't need Polio Tropical, do you?
And now, real late at Boy Tropical. Open till midnight.
Polio Tropical.
There's a troubling new allegation against one of pro football's top quarterbacks.
Man, she looks like a linebacker.
She was a volleyball player at Michigan.
I can tell. She's jacked.
Damn. 24 women now accuse Deshaun Watson of sexual assault or misconduct during massage sessions. The newest lawsuit was filed yesterday. Watson denies any wrongdoing with any of the women, but he has been sidelined for more than a year, and the NFL is also investigating. Adriana Diaz has more.
Is the general manager that still made this blockbuster deal, is he still in place?
Yes.
Yeah. He's probably next to go. Would you not? I mean,
I don't know. I believe that Deshaun Watson's cap hit for the next 2 years, I think, is like
$70 million.
I think it's like $126 million combined or something.
Are you serious?
I believe so.
Yeah, I think it's like 70-some million or something like that. 70 and 60 or something.
Yes.
Incredible.
In a lawsuit filed against Deshaun Watson on Monday, a woman who was a massage therapist alleges the 26-year-old arranged 2 massages for himself at her apartment.
Haven't we already been through all this? Like, wasn't there 20 instances of this and then it all got settled?
Yeah.
Now this is the next wave of it? Is this the next?
Red was saying, did he go on a date with her?
That came out.
So this is up and beyond the ones that he's already got through.
If this is the latest coverage of it, then yeah.
Yes.
The details of it came out yesterday.
Okay. And this is a new old girl.
Yes.
Yeah, because the CBS saying this is from September 10th, 6:56 a.m.
The lawsuit claims that during the second massage, Watson exposed himself and began performing a lewd act in front of the masseuse before paying for the massage and leaving.
Wow, talk about really not getting your money's worth.
No, that's not the new girl. That's the old one.
This is the old one.
Yeah.
There also claims she quit massage therapy after the incident and now suffers from depression and anxiety. Monday's lawsuit is the 24th civil case filed against Watson since March of last year.
He needs $100 and some million to settle all these lawsuits.
Here.
I feel a range of emotions.
Is this her?
I guess. I think this
Guilt,
is old.
Embarrassment, shame.
Ashley Solis was the first accuser to come forward in 2021. She appeared on an episode of Real Sports with Bryant Gumbel last month.
I just feel sad that anybody had to feel the way that I did when I was in that room because it's so scary.
This year...
Now, hold on. I am not in any way, shape, or form.
Victim shaming coming up in 3, 2, 1.
I am in no way, shape, or form sticking up for Deshaun Watson. No way. Like, no way. He's a scumbag. He shouldn't be doing this. But like, if you're this woman and you're massaging him, and he alludes to the fact that he'd like you to, because it said that, he made a gesture. I guess maybe he started pleasuring himself as kind of maybe kind of a Iggy, like, hey, this is kind of what I need. She obviously did not perform that, and she walked out of the room and since quit the business. Now, I think that she probably quit the business. It'd be interesting to see, Dan, if I was the defense lawyer, to see, did you quit the business prior to lawyering up, or did you quit the business after lawyering up? Because I could see where a lawyer would say,
you need to quit.
You need to quit because that adds credence to your PTSD.
Right, and go see the psychiatrist and all those things.
And start that whole process.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
So, I mean,
it could be, but still, I mean, listen. If my daughter was a massage therapist and some creepy football player came out and whipped out his flashlight and started playing with it while she was trying to give him a massage, I'd be pissed.
No. I'm not trying to underscore the fact that I'd be mad. I'd be pissed.
Protect our daughters, Bubba.
But is it this bad? Where you like this traumatic?
Can I say this, Bubba? There are, because you're thinking like a man, and I get that. It's like, hey, what's the big deal? Guy whips it out. But these massage therapists, masseuses, whatever you call them, like they really believe in like the healing aspect and all that. Like that's what they're going into. Like they know that a guy might get a bone here and there, but like they take that stuff seriously. So when it happens, that it makes them question like why they even got into the business in the first place to try to help people.
And I understand that, but and again, God, please don't anybody think that I'm trying to stick up for Deshaun Watson. I'm not. I'm only trying to.
Well, I know the Merch Crick has him as a backup on her team, so
I'm trying to navigate through how traumatic of an experience this could potentially be for a woman. If you just simply said no, and that ends our session, and I'm walking out, at the end of the day, like.
Right, he didn't detain her. He didn't tie her down. He didn't block the door. She could have walked out.
So, Bubba, CBS looks like they put an old video up on this. Right now, we're talking.
Yeah, this is really old. Like all this stuff that's being talked about, all the accusations from 2020 and 21 have been settled. But there was one that came out on Monday.
Yeah, I sent you but there's no video on it, Bubba. You got to read it. But
I can just read you the info if you'd like.
I mean, it's pretty long. If you scroll down,
I would like for Rhett
to summarize it.
So on Monday, he was sued by a woman in Harris County, Texas. She accused him of sexual assault, battery, and intentional infliction of emotional distress. It allegedly occurred on a date at the woman's apartment in October of 2020. Now, this lawsuit in particular is over 2 years after he reached settlements with over 24 women who accused him of sexual misconduct. 24 total women filed lawsuits alleging assault or harassment between 20 and 21. Now, according to Monday's lawsuit...
This was a date, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
According to Monday's lawsuit, Watson first met the woman at a restaurant in July of 2020.
Mm-hmm.
After a period of exchanging texts, he asks to meet that October, and the woman invited him to her apartment for dinner.
Okay.
The lawsuit alleges that after calling the woman's cell phone and aggressively yelling and screaming and stating that he could not find her apartment, he arrived, and while waiting for the woman to finish getting ready in her bathroom, undressed himself. Upon coming out of her bathroom, the woman found
naked.
He was completely naked on her bed, face down. He then insisted that she massage his buttocks, despite the woman repeating that she wasn't a masseuse per the lawsuit. She says she was afraid and attempted to massage his back instead. Then he turned over, the lawsuit alleges, and grabbed her and sexually assaulted her for several minutes. Now, the details I read yesterday said he also flipped her over. So, I mean, he was...
Go on and says, before the woman could answer, Watson partially disrobed Jane Doe and penetrated her vagina without consent, implicit and or explicit. According to the lawsuit, which also alleges that Watson sexually assaulted the woman for several minutes before she escaped, grabbed a heavy piece of decor for self-defense. I mean, she might have grabbed a vase or something like that. And Watson then stormed out of Jane Doe's apartment. Now, if indeed this is true, where he did this, this is bad. This is bad where she comes out of the bathroom, he's buck-ass naked, laying face down. She says, please rub my ass. She says, no, I'm going to rub your back. He flips over, and she says, I mean, in the lawsuit, it states that he actually penetrated her vagina. Now, that's rape. I mean, that's rape. Sexual assault and or rape. Now, how do they prove that? I mean, you know, I'm sure she didn't have her, you know, bedroom camera up. That's a sore subject. But like I'm saying, like, at this point, Dan, being a lawyer, how do you prove that? Now, I know how she could have bettered her chances, and I don't know that she did that, but she should have immediately gone to the emergency room
and got got the rape kit and got his DNA out of her vagina, and then he's busted.
Right. You know, at that point, man,
right.
He's either in prison or he's writing a very significant check.
Mm-hmm.
That 2-year salary cap bonus that Seth Kushner talked about, half of it's going to her.
But the
if
jurors
he wants to stay out of prison.
But the jurors, if this were to go to a jury, are also going to take into account that they had been talking for months. She invited her to her apartment. She invited him to her apartment, and so there's some implications there
for her. I mean, you know,
there's some problems with her case. That's why her case isn't perfect.
Now,
there's no proof.
But hold on,
and she invited him.
But hold on. Would the judge allow? And I think the answer is no. The judge would not allow his prior history of doing this sort of thing as evidence. I don't think he would allow that in.
He may, because you could say it has to do with his MO. But previous events should not be allowed,
Usually
and it's a very sticky subject. It's one of the reasons that Bill Cosby's case got reversed. It's one of the reasons that the Weinstein's case got reversed in New York, and one of the reasons that Trump's case in New York will get reversed under appeal, because you can't bring in bad prior acts.
So
it's prejudicial.
So if they can't bring in bad prior acts, she doesn't have a rape kit. Instead, it's taken 2 years for her to come up with this. 4 years to come up with this. I'm not saying it's a he said, she said.
But it is.
But it is. And in no way, shape, or form do I want anybody to interpret our position as one backing Deshaun Watson. I think he's a creep. I think he's a bust. I think that the Browns are on brand with him. They suck, and he sucks. And, you know, even though they made the playoffs last year, I mean, God.
The Browns did do something great, though. They did make the Bucs and Texans very good by making the decision that they did.
They did.
Yeah, absolutely.
They did. They really did.
Yeah, C.J. Stroud, went over to the Texans, and they had
Baker Mayfield comes to us,
and they're stuck with a guy who's got 24 charges that have been thrown against him in the last couple of years.
With another one kicker.
Yeah, and Jameis Winston's the guy that's got to clean everything up and be the moral leader.
Well, he keeps his hands to himself.
Oh yeah,
he likes to eat his hands. He eats W's. Remember?
Yeah.
I heard that he kept his place here. In town.
Well, I hope he's successful.
I think he's going to retire here.
Well, maybe this year, but I hope he doesn't suck forever. I hope he does have a moment of brilliance. I hope he has a renaissance to his career, because he is.
I don't think he can. I don't think that he's
capable.
I don't capable. That's the word. Thank you, because I was going to.
He doesn't have the tools.
I don't think that he's capable of reading defenses the way he needs to read defenses on the fly to be able to be successful in the NFL.
You can't teach that.
He admitted he wasn't capable of reading scoreboards up until he had LASIK a couple of years ago.
Right. Yeah, he had bad. So he had bad vision, which again,
he said that for 5 years.
Is an excuse up to a point. But now he still sucks. So why does he still suck?
Listen, human beings are so big. It isn't like you're trying to watch a movie in a movie theater and you can't read the fine print, so you need glasses for distance or for night driving. You can see a human being 8 yards down the field and what color jersey he's got on compared to the other guy. You got to be Ray Charles blind not to be able to figure that out. I don't care. How bad your vision is, you can rough in your player versus the other guy.
Wasn't that the knock on Vinny Testaverde because he was colorblind?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's better. That's a better excuse than my eyes are bad.
Yeah.
Colorblind, I could see, because your guys' pink jersey may look just like the Green Bay Packers' white away jersey. Yeah.
Well, if you're saying your eyes are bad because you threw 30 interceptions, and were your eyes bad when you threw 30 touchdowns?
Well, no, Seth, he said that for 5 years he needed to get LASIK, and he never would get it.
Then he got it, and he didn't get any better.
No.
If you want a deep dive into the Bubba the Love Sponge show from the past, go to BubbaArmyHQ.com. We'll be back after these words.
The Uber driver and the chick from around here.
Yeah, chick from Lakeland.
No, she's from countryside.
She's from Lakeland.
There was just this
She's
like
from this area, though. Palm Harbor.
Yeah.
there was just this 2-year window where everybody like picked the Browns to go to the Super Bowl,
Every year they think that.
and now that's just reality's sinking in.
What, James Winston?
I mean, dude, they're gonna have to- I mean, I don't mean,
Yeah, I agree with you on that one too. Some people on here. Still from ground. That is Rusty Tate. My shoulder's a lot better. I can throw a baseball, 60 feet. People don't like wearing contacts. And I think these little exercises that Bubba has me doing with the cable, like replicating a throwing motion, is helping too.
Lightweight.
Yeah, I know. I've been doing them.
Lightweight. 30 pounds max.
How much?
30.
I think it's on 40.
Mm-hmm. You need to back it down.
I was doing sets of 15 without a problem.
Are you?
Yeah. I mean, does it look like I'm struggling? You want to watch? Yeah. Just a couple reps.
Everyone left? Sorry, guys. Had to use the restroom real quick. No water. What's up, everybody? Buzzers. What was asked how 76 months? What's up, cable dog?
Your chest is helping you through that movement.
I learned all that in my Richard Simmons workout videos. But
Did you?
Oh, yeah.
I like to wear those like red and white striped shorts when I work out.
I'm wearing them tonight to be patriotic. Hopefully we can get it under my desk camera set up.
The little spread wide leg. Hey, I see a ball.
But just that little bit of variance, Dan.
Yeah, it makes a difference. Yeah, I see what you're saying. And I may need to go down a weight, you're right.
See? People be amazed at how much I know about that shit.
Oh, yeah.
The Bubba the Love Sponge Show, listener supported via PayPal, Venmo, and Cash App. All at the Bubba Army now returns.
Lummy, we're looking at something that could get you and I very excited.
Oh, yeah.
If you look at my screen, I'm on sunbeltrentals.com. Go for the Weekend Warrior deal. That's where they drop it off at 5 o'clock on Friday, and they don't pay. And you only get charged a day. They only charge you for one day, and you get it 5 o'clock on Friday, and they don't pick it up till Monday at 9.
60 hours.
So Lummy, I mean, like, Lummy, I think you've rented a skid steer from them.
Yes, I have.
I think you've rented a trencher from them.
Yes.
I think you've rented all kinds. A Mini X.
No, I rented one of those hydraulic breakers and demolished attachments. Take out some concrete.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, you attach it right to the skid steer.
I mean, I'm talking everything from a skid steer to a motor grader to an excavator to.
Big Red's getting a lift from Sunbelt at his house
A jib?
this weekend. Yes.
Nice. Go to sunbeltrentals.com. If you go to your local Sunbelt, tell them that you listen to the show. Like I think Kevin on the 301 location in Tampa, Lummy, is a good friend of the show, and I think he'll give you a discount.
Yes, he will.
So I need to get with Bob and see if they had like if once you put everything in your cart, if they have a area for a promo code, and if we could use Bubba for like Redline Oil. They give a 10% Bubba discount code by using Bubba in checkout on Redline Oil. Well, maybe we could do that with Sunbelt Rentals.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Look at that. Look right here, me being an earth mover, a track owner. I own my grader. I don't own a skid steer. Sunbelt always keeps me in a nice skid steer, Lummy, but skid steers are by far one of the most practical pieces of tools, of earth-moving tools, and all the attachments that you can put on skid steers, from a brush hog to a stump grinder to a Harley rake to a box blade to a. You can put these all these type of these.
You sure can.
Just the attachments that you can put on a skid steer, all of this kind of stuff.
Taking up concrete is easy with that.
So anyway, go to sunbeltrentals.com if you'd like to rough in what you'd like. You can even put your address or all your information in there, and they'll tell you where the nearest Sunbelt rental is. I think you can do it all online.
Yes, you can.
I think you can book and everything all online. Give them your credit card information, whether it's a pickup or delivery. And it all starts and stops with sunbeltrentals.com. Got to say hi to my buddy George, who works in the Ocala deal. Got to say hi to Kevin and the boys that work at the Tampa store. That's who you probably deal with.
Yes.
And then, of course, Bobby K, who's the boss man.
The legend.
Anyway, sunbeltrentals.com, the official rental place of the Bubba the Love Sponge show. We've been with them for, 10 years?
At least.
God, maybe longer.
Yes.
Love you guys. Thank you so much for all that you do. All the Sunbelt guys always come for BARP. They always come late. They usually come like after they've been drinking for a while. And
they went to the hockey game last year.
Bobby K and the boys roll up in here.
They show up on the Earth Movers, right?
What's that?
They show up in the Earth Movers?
No, they don't show up in the Earth Movers.
They show up in those badass Sunbelt Ford F-150s that Sunbelt got for them.
Because they make so much damn money.
Yeah.
Oof. I'd love to see Seth on a skid steer. He would probably flip it. Seth, do you think if I had a pile of dirt and I put you in a skid steer and I said, take this pile of dirt and move it over here 15 feet? Do you think you could do it?
Hell yeah. It's a stick shift?
It's joystick.
Yeah.
It's a joystick.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah. Okay.
I've seen the guys. Come on, let me do it. It'd be good content.
Oh, I want to let you do it. I really do.
Okay, so I mean, do I have to go out to like a dirty part of the city with dirt, or are you gonna bring the dirt here?
You're gonna have to come to my track.
Oh, have him move up all the dirt for the track.
Here's the thing, Lummy. I think of.
Can I pick up rocks for $5 a bucket too?
I wouldn't want to do that.
Can I tell you something?
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to do that. You'll do about 2 buckets worth and say, I quit. It's hard work.
That's a pack of Select 2023. I'll take it.
Bend down, pick up the rock, put it in your bucket, and then walk in the track 2 or 3 times over, picking up every rock the size of like a quarter or bigger and putting it into a Home Depot 5-gallon bucket. And then you got to understand, the more rocks that you collect, the heavier that bucket gets.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. You know.
And money.
Most people can't do more than 3 buckets. They just get so tired out. So I wouldn't recommend, Seth. I would recommend when you come to my track, Lummy, I think I need to have a bunch of stuff laid out for Seth.
Yes.
I need to have a skid steer thing. I need to have a gun because we can shoot at my place. I have a little mound that I've made so he can shoot his gun. I can have him shoot a gun.
At trespassers?
No, at
it's
a
like a target range.
at a dirt pile.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah, it's got a backstop so the bullets don't go through
exactly.
the woods.
I've built a little.
Safe.
And it's not close. It's not facing any houses
or streets
or horse areas.
Did we ever get an update on Asian Andy, or whatever his name was?
Who?
Asian Andy from Santa Fe Community College.
He wanted to build that like bicycle, motorcycle sort of race dirt track.
No, he
flaked out.
He flaked out, like most people that want to.
Yeah, he was going to work 100 hours a week or something.
Yeah, most people that come to the track and offer their, only Buck and Big Red and the Get Fresh crew. Let me. They helped me with the fence. I think you were up there, were you not?
No, I was not that weekend.
You don't travel well.
No, I don't.
But the furthest you travel is here.
Pretty much.
Seth, I'm with you, though. I think the excavation equipment's fun to use. Kirk Morgan, who Bubba actually is sending you a T-shirt, has some of that stuff on his property, and he let me, try to dig a little bit of a hole.
You know why?
It's so much fun.
Because he's a real man.
Yeah, he is a real man.
Kurt Morgan is a real man.
Yeah, he is.
And he's got one hell of a driver in the sprint car.
That guy's good, isn't he?
Yeah. Is that guy still driving for him?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Anyway, driving but digging a hole with a bulldozer or like an excavator, Seth, is very satisfying.
I'm ready to do it.
No, but do you think Seth could do it?
I think with 5 minutes of instruction, he could struggle through it.
Yeah.
Struggle through it. It's not gonna be pretty, but don't dig a hole.
I will tell you, Seth, from where you live to Ocala, though, if I was going to have you meet you on there on a Saturday, you'd have to leave like at 6 in the morning.
Yeah, Bubba, it's
I'll pay you.
Whoa.
I'd pay you like $100.
We'll take the wooden helicopter. Easy.
A wooden helicopter.
Where's my? I haven't needed it in a while.
No.
But I need it now. Oh, hold on here. It really is disruptive to the show.
But it's a pain in the ass to drive 2 hours. I get you, Seth.
On Z100.
Seth would drive to Ocala, do the 3 or 4 manly things that I have set up for him to do, and drive back if I gave him $100 easily. Easily. Maybe $1.25 for gas.
I would probably give Colton $50 and have him drive me back and forth.
Oh, have him drive you?
Yeah. And then just clear 75 that day.
Right. Or maybe I'll make it $1.50,
Yeah.
And then you pay Colton.
I actually really dislike driving.
You really
don't
do,
like
don't
it.
you?
Yeah, I'm not good at it.
So I was thinking like if I had a little like a skid steer thing where you had to pick up, really your skid steer skills is if you can take a tire and flip it over. Like you really got to be good.
I don't see Seth doing that one.
Yeah, that might be the final one for him to do.
I would love to do some sort of redneck Olympics with you, Bubba.
And I'll do it first to show him how to do it, and then let him get in the machine and then try to do it. And we like the first one. This, of course, all sponsored by Sunbelt Rentals. First one would be have a big pile of dirt there. Take this skid steer and move this pile of dirt over to there.
Yeah.
And then the second one.
Time it.
No, not time it. Just see if you can do it.
Okay.
And the second one be, I have those big, huge tractor tires.
Yes.
See if you can take a tractor tire and put it on top of another tire.
There you go.
That takes a little bit of skill.
You know what is how it's smoothing it out. It's not really fun, but smoothing out the.
You mean backblading?
Backblading, yes.
Okay, then the last one would be I'd have a little bit of dirt and I'd have him backblade it to grade.
There you go.
There you go.
And that'll tell One-Eyed Billy how to do his damn job. And I'll be the man out there.
Weed whipper, Dave.
Seth, have you ever ran a gas-powered weed whacker? Have you ever ran a weed whacker?
My pa tried to show me one time, but I didn't have the patience. Yeah.
You've never ran a weed whacker?
Oh yeah, just a little handheld one. I had a Ryobi.
Yeah, the electric
where
one.
you have to put the string in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not good at that either.
How about
you're
not good at weed whacking?
I mean, I'm good at weed whacking, but the string when it comes out and then it hits your leg and then it's too long.
What about pressure washing?
I love pressure washing.
Keep your feet away from that.
Love pressure washing.
Some breaking news for you tonight is the Miami-Dade County Police.
So this is everywhere. And I don't know if I was Tyreek Hill, if I would have gone on CNN and necessarily made this particular appearance. I think that the police body cam, there's about 3 or 4 different those. And then there's more footage of people that were, bystanders that were taping it. There's just so much footage of the Tyreek Hill gets detained while going to the ball game on Sunday by the Metro-Dade? Was it the Metro-Dade?
The Miami-Dade. Police.
Yeah, Miami. I don't know if it was county or city, but obviously Tyreek Hill got detained, got handcuffed, was put on the ground. He did an appearance on the Caitlin Collins show last night on CNN.
Do you like
have
her?
Just released this
it doesn't really matter to me.
dramatic new body cam footage of the NFL star Tyreek Hill as he was pulled from his car and placed in handcuffs yesterday.
Get out! Get out! Get out! Get out! Get out! Get out! Damn! What part of Brother doing this?
See, I think this is a little aggressive, and Tyreek Hill said, "See, this area right here behind this fence, that's the players' area.
That's the stadium.
That's where he was gonna." He later on in this interview says, "I literally could have just made a right into the players' parking lot, but I pulled over thinking there might have been an issue or something." And so he literally should have pulled in the players' parking lot.
And let them do that to him on the property?
Right. Let him, go into that area, restricted, so that to show them that he has access to this restricted area because he is a player, not just some black guy driving a fancy car, because that's what they're treating him like right now.
Right.
They're treating him like a black guy driving a fancy car who's not being compliant.
But, Bubba, there's 2 things that are missing. What happened right before this video and what happened to make them pull him over?
Here's the deal. I would like to see what...
Oh, it's there.
What type of... Does it show him driving?
There's video. I mean, I know I sent a video of them starting from the beginning.
Yeah, I sent it, the body cams.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's on our Twitter, too.
They ask for his ID, gives it to him, and then he rolls his window
up.
up.
No, but do they show...
Yeah.
Did any of the stuff you guys sent me
they
show him driving?
Yes.
Is it this one?
They show a cop go... They show the cop's body cam driving after Tyreek Hill and pulling him over.
I think this one might be it. Is this one it here?
This should be. Yeah, the cop's under the bridge, yeah.
Okay, here we go. I don't think there's any sound here.
I think it comes in a second, Bub. I think when there's private information,
right?
I think
when they're just BSing.
Yeah, because sounds come in and out of the videos that I saw yesterday.
Looks like he's ready to go.
So now it doesn't see. Okay, now you don't see anybody. Okay, so there's Tyreek Hill,
and he was going. Looked like about as fast as everybody else was going.
No, he. If we're gonna be on, I am gonna go back, but he's noticeably going faster. But he's also in a $400,000 car, and he could be. I mean, I don't know why these cops it can't register in their mind. That could be a player.
Do you think they got radioed a little farther ahead? Because they were getting ready, putting their helmets
you know
on
what?
everything.
I think, Lummy, I think you're onto something. I think that maybe the cops, a block away may have radioed to the motor, maybe a guy that in a car, and he can't do a pursuit because he's directing traffic on foot. But he radios to the motorcycle guys, hey, I got a black McLaren that's hauling ass. You guys might want to pull over.
Yeah, because it looks like they got ready for him.
Yeah, it looks like because
they were ready before he got there.
Because if you look, they're at a relax. Hold on here. If you start here, they're at a relaxed position.
And they're not radar.
Yeah. They're at a relaxed position with their helmets off. Really, they're just kind of chilling out. And everything, and then here comes my pre-roll, Willie. Okay, boom.
By the way, they have body cam footage of they have it from every cop that was there. I think they released it yesterday.
So if you look here, man, this guy's helmet's on his
his bike.
On his bike. This guy's at relaxed position. It looks like maybe a radio call came down. Hey, man, a black McLaren's hauling ass. Pull them over. And then they start strapping up their helmets looking for said vehicle.
Why would they be on their motorcycles without their helmets on? That seems so foolish.
I don't know, because they're just directing traffic, I guess.
Maybe get a sweaty head or something.
So watch. Hold on.
Hanging out.
So watch. All right, so now I think they get the call. And the guy now strapping up, and they're starting. And now he literally just started it and put it in first gear. They're looking for a black McLaren, and you can see it come by here, right after this car here. It'll be the next car that you see, right here, coming. Boom. Okay.
It's faster.
It's going faster.
It's faster.
But I don't know about fast enough to yank the guy out of the car and treat him like a criminal.
But he could have slowed down a little bit from the other cop that maybe radared him.
All right, so here they are. They're going through their gears.
You know damn well he was on his phone. He didn't know what was going on.
Yeah, he had no idea what was going on.
Well, no, but Drew Rosenhaus might have.
No, Drew Rosenhaus wasn't with him.
I thought he was in the car.
No, he got pulled out and he said, call Drew. Call Drew. He was by himself.
So they get now literally.
Oh, he's got his window down.
What's your speeding? Move forward.
Now, literally, it's my understanding that this next driveway is where he pulls in at as a player parking lot.
I would have pulled in at 5 miles an hour.
Oh, you would have kept going, Dan?
I would have gone right into the stadium. Absolutely. If I got pulled over in Dale Mabry before a Bucs game, I would pull right into the stadium because cops there are my friend.
Hold on. Here's the deal. If you're hauling ass at Boy Scout Road and Dale Mabry, and a guy gets behind you as you went through Boy Scout Road, you're just going to keep on going to where you're going, and you're going to sort all this out in the players' parking lot.
Yep.
Yeah.
So my argument's going to be because I didn't want to stop on dangerous Dale Mabry, but my real motivation is now I got friends that are in law enforcement that'll stop this nonsense.
And I'm in a restricted area showing you that I might be somebody of significance.
They're not normally that loud.
I will tell you, man, his McLaren sounds pretty badass.
Yeah, he's got an exhaust on it.
Hey, don't knock on my window like that, man. Why don't you have your seatbelt on? Don't knock on my window. Why don't you have your seatbelt on?
Now, Cena, hold on. I don't think Tyreek Hill betters himself by automatically being a dick by saying, don't knock on my window
when
like
he
that.
had the window down before.
Because knocking on somebody's window does not hurt your car. You're not potentially scratching your car. Guys that have cars like this are a little bit anal about, you. So I could see if you're leaning your gun belt against the guy's car, but just tapping.
Did he tap it with his hand or with his flashlight?
I think I think he did it with his hand.
Knock on my window like that.
Here we go. Let me see. Just to see. I think he uses his hand.
See, that's kind of a dick move right there. Did you see how he rolled it up on him?
Hey, don't knock on my window like that, man. Don't knock on Why don't you have your seatbelt on? Don't knock on my window. Why don't you have your seatbelt on? Knock on my window like that, though. Like what? Don't knock on my window like that. Why you have it up? Don't knock on my window like that. Why you have it up? I have to knock to let you know I'm here. Don't knock that way you can lower it and talk to you. Just get my ticket, bro, so I can go. I'm finna be late, gang. Do what you gotta do. Keep it down. Hey.
See,
here, take off time.
I don't think that Tyreek Hill is bettering his cause at all.
Well, did you see when the cop was walking up, he rolled up his window like a deck and then just keeps rolling it up?
Yeah, I mean, I listen. I think that this is way not cool on behalf of the cops, but Tyreek Hill is not an innocent little, he's not complying at all.
Keep your window down.
And at this point, they don't know who the guy is, and
they got his ID in his hand.
I understand. I know that he's looked at it yet, but for officer safety,
people said that he could have just gone since he had his ID.
But for officer safety, you can't have a guy that's got heavily tinted windows with the window because he could be having a gun pointing right at you. They have to have that window down. They do.
It's not law.
I think, it's maybe not a law.
It's not a law.
But
is that tint illegal, though?
That's a different argument. But his having his window down is not a law, and he does not have to comply to that.
You're right. And you know what? Based on that, you're going to get what he got. So if you don't want to get what he got, have your window down.
Have your hands on the steering wheel and be polite.
Be cordial. And none of this would have happened.
Hey.
I mean, they had every right to pull him over. He was driving way past the speed limit, noticeably, just visually.
Oh, no one's arguing that, Bubba. I think everything, the meat of this is right here. I think this is where.
Keep your window down. Keep your window down. I'm going to get you out of the car. As a matter of fact, get out of the car. Get out of the car. Give me that. We'll break that window. Get out of the car. Get out of the car right now. We're not playing this game. Get out. 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 Damn. What part of brother doing this?
Now,
I think
this cop I think he lost his cool.
Yep.
So I think that Tyreek Hill gave him attitude enough to make him lose his cool, and it all goes downhill from here.
Hey, Drew, I'm getting arrested, dude. I'm getting arrested. I'm getting arrested, Drew.
He's on the phone.
Get up, bro. God damn, twin. When we tell you to do something, you do it. You understand? You understand? Not when you want, but when we tell you. You're not fucking confused. I'm getting out, bro. Too late. Too late. All right, bro. Take me to jail, bro. Do what you got to do, bro. We are. We will. Good, bro. It is good. Hey. Don't worry about it. I hung up the phone. Stop crying. Bro.
All he's missing is the knee on the neck for a half hour.
They get him in a minute. What are these Dolphins fans thinking, by the way?
Is that Tyreek?
I ain't do nothing, twin. Hey, hold on. Pull to the side.
Now, Bubba, this car that's pulling over, that's his teammate, Jonnu Smith.
Who also got detained, right?
I think his other teammate, Calais Campbell, got detained. They ended up backing this guy back into his car.
Yeah.
Hey. I just had surgery on my knee. I just had surgery on my knee, bro. I just had surgery on my knee, bro. I just had surgery in your ears when we told you to put your window down. Chill, bro. Hey, don't do, bro. Hey, come on. Don't do.
There's Calais.
Back off right now. Back off. Back off right now. Get back. Get back. I'm telling you, go back. I don't have to talk to you. Go back. Go back. Go back. Wait. Pass that card. Pass that card. You want to be handcuffed?
I think these cops at this point, man, are being complete dicks. Because this guy right here, who's a teammate of Tyreek Hill, he's being very calm, very much a gentleman, complying what they're saying. He just was he's trying to tell them the guy that they have in custody or detained. I guess they want to say that in custody means you might be arrested. Detained means they're just detaining you for their own safety. But I think that this guy's he's listening. He has his hands up. He's not a threat. He's not being mouthy. He's not being disrespectful.
Well, I think
do they end up putting him in handcuffs
yes.
too?
Bubba, I think they freak out a little bit because you've got Calais Campbell, this massive guy that's coming up on him.
6'7", like 290.
Right,
no, I know.
And then the other side, if there's other body cam footage from another angle, you see Jonnu Smith, the cop just yells at him. He yells for his ID. Then he says that he's going to take him to jail if he doesn't get back in his car. So I just think all of a sudden you pull a guy over and now...
But here's the thing:
everything there's no de-escalation here.
I agree. It's just straight escalation.
Right.
But I think the cops fundamentally, if I'm not trying to blame them, but there's blame on both sides of the fence. First of all, Tyreek Hill did not handle it appropriately or like a gentleman. Had he rolled his window down, give him his ID, and said, "I'm a Miami Dolphins player that's making it to the next driveway. I'm going to turn right into the players' parking lot. If I was speeding, I'm so sorry, but here's my ID. Leave your window down the entire time," because the officers get real freaked out on officer safety. Had he done that, I think this would be more egregious on the cops had they treated him that way. Now, once they finally got him out, detained him, which I don't think is really that cool, these cops failed to realize that you're working. There's going to be big, if you're working a Miami Dolphins detail and you're working the road that the Miami Dolphins players are going to be traveling into. Know your environment and know that you're going to potentially have big people that are out defending a fellow football player. Like, do they not even know where they're at? You guys are at a Miami Dolphins football. You're doing a detail at a Miami Dolphins football game. You've detained a player. I don't know why they couldn't have figured that out.
All right, then back up. We're not playing this game here, man.
Well, I just want to know what happened.
So it's not your business. It's not your business. Keep going back.
1, 2, 3. Five vehicles, patrol vehicles
get back in your car
for a traffic ticket.
Get back in your car and leave. You gotta go before you get a ticket.
I'm not driving.
Who's the driver?
This is my car.
All right, move. You gotta move right now. Let me have your license. You get a ticket too.
I'm coming.
Let me have your license. You get a ticket. Let me have your license.
I'm leaving.
I'm not playing. Let me have your license.
Man, these cops really have some very short fuses and certainly should not be ever assigned to this detail.
No.
And in fact, might want to be determined as to whether they need to be retrained on how to deal with the. Okay, Tyreek Hill is one thing. He gave you reason to do what you did. He did.
Wait. You think that Tyreek Hill, and I'm not just being a liberal woke person, but you really think Tyreek Hill gave that cop a reason to yoke him out of the car and throw him on the ground and arrest him? Absolutely not.
When he rolled up his window and was not complying with their demands and their requests, you are now putting yourself in a position to be removed from the car and detained.
They would have yoked all of us up if we did it to him.
Here's the deal. The other two guys absolutely are doing nothing wrong. They're only checking on their guy. They don't have any hands in their pockets or trying to, not comply with the cops. They are complying with every command, including move back. And all these cops want to do is just yell about how quick you're going to get a ticket. When the two other dudes have done nothing wrong.
I agree.
When Tyreek Hill has an attitude from minute one, he gave them reason to pull him over. There was probable cause to pull him over.
I agree.
Okay. And then you have probable cause to remove him from the car.
Disagree.
When he does not comply with your command, and that is...
He gave him the driver's license, go write the ticket. Dude, he doesn't have to keep his window down. There's no law for that. He did crack it again, and he said, get out of the car, and then he started getting out of the car, and it takes a second to get out of that car. It's not an easy car to get out of. And he yoked him up and threw him on the ground and arrested him. Unconscionable. We have rights in this country.
I understand.
You can't just get thrown on the freaking ground
I don't
because
agree.
you don't
I don't agree with how they handled him. But he also didn't give them any wiggle room with regards to being a gentleman or handling this. Do you know what?
He's a dick. But you don't get arrested for being a dick.
Well, you can. You can be detained for being a dick.
And now the cop loses his job and he gets paid.
Your license right now. Your license right now. You're not gonna give me your license?
See, and again, this African-American man who's a teammate of Tyreek Hill, I don't think this is where the cops are dicks. This guy's trying to probably call the GM or the head coach.
I think they told him to call Drew Rosenhaus.
Right, or Drew, trying to get somebody on the phone to let them know of Tyreek's plight. The other guy came up with his hands up, just wanting to know what's going on. Is my buddy okay? He gets threatened with a ticket or detained. He ends up getting detained.
Oh, yeah.
And this guy here's doing nothing wrong, and they're threatening him. Now, the Tyreek Hill situation is problematic, but it's not as problematic as this. This is more problematic, where they just start threatening
crazy.
Threatening dudes who are doing nothing wrong other than being concerned.
Did they lose control?
They lost control.
Or did they ever have it?
The police?
You're not gonna give me your license? I'm leaving. Let me have your license. Your license right now. Hey, your license right now.
So what's this guy guilty of? This guy's guilty of pulling over and checking on his friends. When they tell him to leave, he says, I'll leave. Now they want his license. This is a dick move. This is where the cops are being dicks.
Well, and you have to give the person a moment to comply, too. I mean,
I understand.
If you say get out of the car, okay, get out of the car. Give him 4 seconds, 5 seconds. If you say give me your license, give him a second to get your license. Or he's
your license right now.
He's getting his license. He's trying to find his license.
This game here, man.
He's looking for his license right now.
We're not playing this game. Not playing what game? This cop likes to tell you that he didn't like playing games. Nobody's playing games with you, Johnny Hothead. I just wish one of the two, this guy or the other guy, would have said these words. That's a Miami Dolphins football. We are all three of us are Miami Dolphins football players traveling to the game this morning.
They got to know, Bubba. They have to know Tyreek Hill.
I've not heard that. I've not heard them say that.
I haven't heard it either. I just feel like it's known.
What's the end goal, man? My license in my bag. Let me get my bag. Go get your license. Let me get my bag, all right?
No, what are the
This guy's trying to comply. It takes a second to get your license.
It's a nice car. What is that?
It's a Rolls Royce.
Oh, yeah.
Poland.
Like the interior.
They're really nice. The carpet's like 2 inches thick.
I mean, and here's the cops being. I got $1 million worth of cars, and I got 3 African American guys that's got $1 million worth of cars. One and they're big guys. And I'm doing a Miami Dolphins detail.
Right. Right in front of the stadium.
Right in front of the players' pull-in parking lot. Just maybe. Hold on. Newsflash. This light bulb should go off in your head. I might be dealing with 3 players here.
No wonder they whipped the Jaguars on Sunday. We're bad to lose after this.
It started a little slow.
It happens when the players are detained.
Yeah.
Giddy up.
He wasted all that time on the guy in the rolls when he's got Tyreek Hill he's supposed to be dealing with. These guys are blocking traffic worse than they are.
And I think you can see. Oh, he's not in cuffs yet.
He will be.
Yeah.
He will be. There's all kinds of footage here. This is the one from, we've already seen this one, right? Okay. This one here is, I think, from a bystander.
Power, man. It's Tyreek Hill.
So the guy in the red shirt that's squatting down to Tyreek, he's not a police officer. He doesn't look like a player. He looks like an older guy. How come he's allowed close?
Maybe he is.
Is he player like security?
Maybe like player personnel or something like that. But Danny's white. This is screams of racism. This screams of targeting African Americans.
From the Spanish community.
Yeah, I mean,
the Cubans,
that's
Cubans
a Spanish area.
Yeah, Cubans do not like.
What? I'm just saying. To me, it screams of targeting, racial targeting. The white guy is allowed to, whatever capacity he is to Tyreek Hill, he's allowed to squat down by Tyreek. But the 2 black guys who are teammates, one of them is probably getting a ticket right now, and the other one is in handcuffs. And the only thing they're guilty of is getting out of their vehicle, calmly approaching the situation with their hands up, not yelling, being thug, being ghetto, just saying, "Hey, what's going on here? Is everything okay?" And
I thought those guys were great, man.
I thought they were. They that's where the real problem is how they disrespected those two dudes who did nothing wrong other than check on their friend. That's what they're guilty of, checking on their friend. Now Tyreek, that's a push. That's a push. Dan and I disagree. You know, we'll look at the extraction again here after the break.
We got all kinds of angles. Which one do you want, Bubba?
I guarantee you that those 5 police officers will never do another Miami Dolphins off-duty detail again.
Nope.
And if I'm the Miami Dolphins, I cancel the entire agency and I bring in FHP or some other or Miami City Metro and I give them the overtime because it's cake overtime and the cops love it. And these 5 numbnuts might have just jeopardized the entire department on doing off duty for the Miami Dolphins. And where's the cop that rolls up in here? Where's the lieutenant? Right? Where's the lieutenant that rolls up in here and says, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, whoa! Take the cuffs off every one of these dudes and get them back in their vehicles. And you 3 fellas, I apologize. Get to the game, and I'll sort this out with my personnel, now. But you 3 get to the game. We apologize. This is a horrible mistake on our behalf. Where's the supervisor that comes in and cleans this up?
They on the statement they released, Bubba, they blame Tyreek Hill. I mean, they did put an officer on leave, but they blame Tyreek Hill, and then the Dolphins put out a statement saying they stand behind Tyreek Hill, and they're disgusted with what they saw.
So
the Dolphins are the ones paying for these cops, and so Jay's here.
Oh, is that Rosenhaus? Did he shave his head?
He's not that jacked. That's not Rosenhaus.
You know, the thing, Bubba, that you said is absolutely true.
Hold on, everybody, quiet. What now?
The thing you said, which is absolutely true, is, the Tyreek Hill is one situation. But the other gentlemen, they have an absolute right to be in a public area videotaping the police officers doing what they do. That's why we have proof of the George Floyd situation. And so these guys, I don't care how big they are, let's put it in context. You're a half a mile from the stadium. Who do you think they may be in a $200,000 car? Are you really threatened? It's really a situation they failed to de-escalate,
but
like
they
you said.
rolled up on the situation in a very non-confrontational way. They both came up with their
hands up, they
didn't walk up and say, "Man, what's happening, man?" with their hands in their pants and being all jive. No, they're like, "Hey, man, what's going on?" Hands up. Hey, I'm just here to let you know. No big deal.
And what you said about Tyreek Hill is right, and what Danny said's right too. And the thing is, it's excessive force. Even if you have a right to pull someone out of a car, you can't yoke them up that way. If someone's being disrespectful and putting the window up, the reason he said last night, which may make sense, but it doesn't give him a right to ignore the cops' orders, is he didn't want people to see him. Well, then he should have done what Dan said and pulled into the parking lot and dealt with it in a different way.
Hold on here.
I know, right?
All right, so that's one of 55 angles. When we come back, we'll get to what the Police Benevolence Association, their statement on this, and then Tyreek was on CNN last night. We'll get to that as well.
You're listening to the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
If you want 24/7 on-demand Bubba and the crew, go to BubbaArmyHQ.com. The Bubba the Love Sponge Show will be back after this.
Okay, did he tell him that?
Yes.
He did?
Well, no, he still wasn't far away. I'm just saying that's...
Well, those guys deserve to be arrested because they were clearly committing crimes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Catching the
Second
police,
degree
videoing the
misdemeanor
police
jail,
doing illegal acts.
Yeah.
Senate Bill 184.
I only recognize Senate Bills 1 through 175.
Oh.
I agree.
I don't
go right to 178.
Yeah, I don't do the last 9.
Well, you know what it's all about is because it's 4 years of arresting people standing around them and certain.
I agree with that in principle. I mean, you got to give a cop space to do their job, but I don't like an arbitrary 25-foot yard, 25-yard like. That's ridiculous.
Someone put Bill's Mafia stuff all over this guy's LinkedIn page.
The cops?
Yeah, made it look like he was a Bills fan.
This guy not playing in games.
That's totally unnecessary, excessive use of force.
What up, fat pig? Thank you. I put out a couple yesterday.
When we tell you to do something, you do it. You understand? You understand? Not what you want, but what we tell you.
Depending on the county, but most counties you're allowed to have, I believe, 65% or 35%, whatever you call it. That's way darker.
So if the officer doesn't feel safe.
Well, if you have to comply with an officer's commands at the scene of any arrest. Put your hands in your pockets. I don't have to put my hands in my pockets. I was
just saying when he walked up to
I know, but the window is, he says keep your window down, you gotta keep it down. You can't keep putting it up, and it's, because he could be putting weed away, he could be putting a gun away, he could be, his excuse on CNN, we'll see in a second, is, he don't want anyone to see what's going on. Well, identify who you are. I'm Tyreek Hill, do you mind if I roll my window?
I feel like he was trying to call Rosenhaus when he was saying, hold on.
Yeah, I think he was doing all that, but you don't know what he's doing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, for sure.
And then this right here, I mean, I see a civil suit for a knee injury. If he doesn't ever play like he used to before, he's going to go to this event and say that this is what did it to his knee.
So Tua will have a lawsuit too then.
He's probably got a civil violation, yeah.
Tua's not going to be able to be able to throw to him the same way.
What's wrong? I thought you meant the other guy at the scene. I was saying, if he ever has continued knee problems, he's going to blame this event. And could arguably have a good rightfully so, the way they got yanked him down on his knee and pulled him out.
Surgery? I'd be having a fucking scope.
I take his claim.
What up, Paul?
Take that claim. I don't care if it's unity or not.
Dan, I would have been getting scoped on Monday because a scope, if it doesn't need one, doesn't do anything.
Yeah, check me out.
So I'm not woke at all. You don't even know what woke means. What I'm about is fairness and civility and people's personal rights. No one should get yoked out of their fucking car because it didn't roll down the window far enough.
Well, Dan, you're wrong.
You're wrong.
You're wrong. You're wrong.
I'm glad you guys disagree.
Well, Dan, we're not disagreeing. We're talking about fucking officer safety, and when an officer tells you to do something, you have to do it.
Okay.
And if he tells you to keep your window rolled down because you have illegal tint and he doesn't want a fucking 9mm pointed right at him, like most fucking instances in this situation is how it starts, then you need to have your window rolled down a little bit so that he can see inside your car. When you're not being compliant on that, he probably did take him out a little aggressively, but being extradited out of the vehicle is not uncommon practice.
If everything's on the up and up, how come they put an officer on leave?
Exactly.
Well, because they're trying to cover their ass civilly right now.
Because it's excessive force.
Yeah, once outside of the vehicle, it was excessive force.
There's two things that, you guys can both be right. It's excessive force. The cop's a complete dick. But you have to comply with like I just said when you were in the bathroom. If a cop tells you to keep your hands in your pocket, you say, isn't you fucking allowed to keep my hands in my pocket? You gotta fucking do what he says. Period. And if he wanted to roll a window, Tyreek could have said, do you mind if I keep it cracked? I don't want everyone here at the scene. I'll keep it cracked. He could have kept it half open. He could have de-escalated. He started off good. He came out hot like a complete entitled dick.
The Bubba the Love Sponge Show. Listener supported via PayPal, Venmo, and Cash App. All at the Bubba Army.
I'm getting also the Bubba the Love Sponge show. Jay with his Dr. Joe High Karate on.
Just grounded me.
Has joined the show. It's Jay. We don't know if Jay won. We don't know if anybody won the creative loafing. We only know if we're finalists or not.
Yeah.
And Jay Diaco Law is a finalist for Best Law Firm. And Brian the Babyface Matroni is a finalist for Best Lawyer. We are finalists in several different categories. Jay, I think you and Dan are going to the ceremonies on Wednesday the 25th at the Hard Rock with us, I think.
I believe so.
Mm-hmm. That would be
That's
so
gonna be
cool.
fun.
That would be so cool, would it not?
For sure.
Here is the letter that was the media statement by the Southern Florida Police Benevolence Association. Now, I've gotten several texts from men that are current law enforcement. As you know, I'm very pro law enforcement. And I've gotten 4 different texts from 4 different men that work at 4 different agencies, one of which is a motorcycle cop. And he said that the extradition, the extraction of Mr. Hill was a little extreme, but Mr. Hill controlled his destiny with his attitude, and the minute he refused to roll the window down. Now, when you roll the window down, if you've been told to roll the window down, you don't have to roll it all the way down. You only have to roll it down enough for literally the police officer to see his eyeballs to be able to see inside. That's it. You don't got to roll it all the way down. You don't got to roll it so they can yoke you out of it. You can roll it down 3 inches, but you got to roll it down. You have to. And
now, once you roll it down, you hand them your license. You're not allowed to roll it back up?
No.
So if it's raining, you can't roll it back up. If it's hot, your air conditioner's on, you can't roll it back up. I'm just asking.
Dan, it's not raining. It wasn't raining.
It was about 98 degrees.
Okay.
So?
I'm sure his McLaren can keep up with the window being...
There's no right to not sweat.
He has to keep his body temperature at a peak 98.7 degrees for optimal performance.
Seth has already got him lawyered up.
You're on my defense squad.
Seth Rosenhaus over there. So
Seth Rosenhaus.
Before so most of them said that the cops were dicks. They used zero discretion, as cop work's about 90% discretionary, and they used very bad judgment and very bad discretion. The way they handled the other 2 officers is completely wrong. Like, they do not stand by them
observers.
at all. Like, they should be, cops use this term, hemmed up. They should be hemmed up on the way they dealt with the other 2 guys. And, the way Tyreek Hill kind of controlled his destiny with regards to being removed from the vehicle. Did they remove him a little aggressive? Yeah. Did they handle it correctly after he was out of the vehicle? No. But Tyreek Hill was being a dick. And cops, again, having knowing a lot of police officers, doing a bunch of ride-alongs, and having been pulled over a lot myself, you control that cop does not want to give you a ticket and the additional time and paperwork it takes unless you talk yourself into a ticket.
Correct. And you know what I told my son about this kind of situation is the cop is always right when you get pulled over.
Never put a cop on defense.
Correct. Right. So
always put a cop
dangerous.
on offense. So when the first thing out of your mouth, the first thing out of the cop's mouth is always this: do you know why I pulled you over? That's the first. That's like 99% of the time. That's what they say. And this is what you say. Yes, I do. I wasn't paying attention to my speed, and I'm sure I was speeding. Boom. He's no longer on defense. He's now on offense. He's like, you're right. And I appreciate you saying that.
Well, I don't tell my son to make a full admission to the crime, which he may be pulled over for. But what I do tell him is keep the window down and your hands on 10 and 2, and then comply with every single request the officer asks of you with a sir or a ma'am at the end of it. May I please have your license? Yes, sir. May I please have your registration? Yes, sir. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You start with I'm sorry's, but you're absolutely right. And if you say that, Bubba, that's just another attempt. If you do the same thing I'm saying, but you say those words, cop might let you off.
Oh, they
You're
will
right,
every time.
kid. You're right, kid.
And
if you have a gun and you do this, I was told by an officer when I was about 29 years old. I was a young lawyer, and I used to travel around with a gun, and I didn't have a concealed weapons permit. And he's the one who told me, put your hands on 10 and 2, roll down your window, and say, "Officer, I just want to let you know that I have a loaded firearm in the car." And by doing that, you disarm them so much. Like, okay, well, where is it? You tell them where it is.
I roll all four windows down. I turn my dome light on. I have my stuff ready for them. When they ask why they pulled me over, I said, "Yep, I certainly do. I'm not going to give you any stupid excuses. I wasn't paying attention, and I'm sure I was speeding." That's what I said. Then I go, I have a gun permit.
Yep.
And it's in my my fanny pack over there.
Yep.
And how would you like me? Would you like me to exit the vehicle while you secure it, or what would you like me to do, sir?
Exactly.
And they say, you know what they say? Nothing.
Thank you.
Thank you for telling me that, because somebody that's going to shoot a cop doesn't tell you they got a gun. That's what they say.
Mm-hmm.
So they know where your gun is. You admitted to what you did, so they don't have to even spiel it off. You're right.
Nope.
You were going 82 and
You
a 55.
babyface it.
Nope. And then they're 90% of the time they come back with either a verbal or a written warning and said, "Slow down, buddy."
Their job is scary enough. They don't need to roll up on a car with tinted windows with the window up and a non-compliant dude. It's a scary job.
It is. So anyway, here's their official statement. Before the Dolphins game yesterday, by the way, they're doubling down. I don't think that they can admit to wrong legally.
It's a police benevolent society. They're not going to do that.
And Jay, they're worried about civil ramifications, because if Tyreek Hill was you and Dan's client, Dan would be have been doing a knee scope on him, right after the game, and found bone fragments inside of the knee scope.
Fresh trauma.
Which was caused by by being curbed. Is what it did. The flex of the knee at a 62-degree angle while sitting at the curb. Jay would have already had a reenactment of a guy sitting on the curb.
Exactly.
And the knee damage done.
Holding his knee going, my knee.
Before the Dolphins game yesterday, an incident occurred when Tyreek Hill was placed in handcuffs before being released. First, to be clear, at no time was he ever under arrest. He was briefly detained for officer safety after driving in a manner in which he was putting himself and others in great risk of danger. So far, okay. Upon being stopped, they don't talk. Okay, I guess maybe they talk about the uncooperation right here. Upon being stopped, Mr. Hill was not immediately cooperative with the officers on the scene, who, pursuant to policy and for their immediate safety, placed Mr. Hill in handcuffs. They didn't say they left out he got yoked out of the car, because they did yoke him.
Well, I bet you the policy and immediate safety has something to do with windows and following commands, tinted windows in South Florida.
Mr. Hill, still uncooperative, refused to sit on the ground and was therefore redirected to the ground. Redirected, I like that one.
That's very lawyerly.
Thrown and or smashed, not used.
No.
Redirected.
Let's redirect it.
Lummy, I might need you to redirect Seth one of these days.
No problem.
When you start irritating me.
Can you do it on the grass, please?
Yeah, we can. Once the situation was sorted out, within a few minutes, Mr. Hill was issued 2 traffic citations and was free to leave. We would like to stress to the community to use this as an opportunity to remember that it's always best to obey lawful police commands first and complain later.
Mm-hmm.
When we work hard across all communities to bridge the gap between what people believe law enforcement should be what law enforcement should and can do, and will continue to do so. In this case, while we wait for the investigation to run its course, based on what we know, we stand with the action of the officers, but look forward to the further open communications moving forward. Meaning, we're going to kiss the Miami Dolphins' ass, and hopefully we don't lose the contract.
You think Tyreek's going to be doing a ride along come, week
I think
17?
Tyreek's going to maybe be the assistant chief after all this is done.
There's going to be a Tyreek Hill division over there by the stadium.
While they're going to helicopter Tyreek in next week, so there's no problems, right at the 50-yard line.
Exactly.
While we are confident in the actions that led to the stop of Mr. Hill, as with any investigation, we will wait for the facts to come out, along with any explanation Mr. Hill may have for his actions that initiated this unfortunate situation. So there's a lot of this that makes sense, and there's a lot of it that doesn't make sense. He participated in a 9-minute interview with CNN. For me to get back on time, I'm going to go to words, and we'll come back with the entire 9 minutes on the Caitlin Collins. I don't think Tyreek should have got on CNN last night and talked about it.
Not yet.
I don't think so. I think he should have listened to his JDiaco.
Well, his lawyer was with him.
Yeah, he was.
Oh, he was?
Yeah, I watched the thing too. You'll see. I'm not going to comment on it.
We'll run through the. We'll do words so we're not so late.
Okay.
And we'll run through the CNN with Tyreek and Hill and his attorney next.
If you love that segment, then check out BubbaArmyHQ.com and do a deep dive on past shows. The Bubba the Love Sponge Show will be right back.
I'm a surgeon. They would have said, "Who gives a fuck?"
They would have
so
stepped
they put
on
him right behind his back.
Let me give me the Sunbelt rental.
You're just a guy. You're not gonna. I mean, that happens all the time.
No, you look.
Dan, you look a little.
You look a little like 20th hijacker.
Yes.
You look a little
Tomorrow is 9/11.
Yes,
Dan, you look a little Haitian.
Did you hear that Springfield, Ohio story, Bubba?
Yeah.
Holy crap, right?
What's the Springfield, Ohio story?
20% of the community is now Haitians in the last 4 years.
And I got an actual listener.
20% of their third of their population, 20,000 Haitians in a community that had 60,000 people. Excuse me, 40. Now it has 60. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, but people also want to talk about the tension between the Miami Hispanics and Miami Blacks. There's a lot of tension between those two communities.
I don't know about that. What's up, everybody? This certainly prompts a lot of opinions. Can you believe Drew Rosenhaus is still in the game after all these years? I mean, it's unreal. He represented Eric Rett. And might as well have been Ricky Bell, but it wasn't. I mean, he's been around forever.
I think he did
Derek so much money.
I think he did Derek Brooks.
I think he may have done Derek Brooks.
I'm pretty sure he did Derek Brooks.
He had all the players, all the powerhouse guys back in the day. He must still. He must still.
Fucked by him.
I saw Chris Hovian at the Jesuit father-son retreat. He said hello again, yeah, and I walked up to him and said hi to him.
I saw him.
He is upset about that as we are.
I bless the rains down an African American.
Just sings it.
Toto.
Oh my man!
I mean Weezer.
It's not Weezer.
No, they covered it.
I know they covered it.
But it was. I don't know how cover songs get to be huge hits again, but
I don't think Weezer did that good a job.
Well, they did a hit. It was a hit.
It's like Fall Out Boy killed fucking Billie Jean.
Yeah.
They fucking killed her.
Alien and from Smooth Criminal.
Yeah, Smooth. Let's run that.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
I meant Smooth Criminal, Alien and for
Yeah, they nailed it. Fall Out Boy did do a cover though of Beat It.
Get ready to check out. Sorry. My bag on. And I just ran. And when we went to lunch.
Taking really any Michael Jackson song and making it rock normally pans out.
Man, I wish I could still do that. If I could just jump up those stairs. and you can see a lot of these guys were like former athletes. Their kids are their kids are super. They're all jacked up, right?
Former athletes are broken.
Right, but they're broken and they're big and they have a gullet.
Don't forget we're doing the debate show tonight.
Oh, really? That's good. That's fun. Be more like Jesse, less like Dan.
8:45. You're gonna get naughty. I heard Shannon.
I thought it was at 9 o'clock it starts.
It does, but there's a pre and a
It's
post.
here at 8:45.
Bubba's gonna go on at 8:45.
Well, there's a pregame. There's a pregame.
Yeah.
So get here a little earlier.
I'm probably just gonna get here at like 8. I mean, I'm just gonna fall asleep if I'm just sitting around at home just waiting to come over here. So I just
Bring some baseball gloves and throw the ball for a few minutes.
Really.
You know what? I did that with Dan. It's fun. There's something therapeutic about throwing the ball around, right? I kind of enjoy it.
Yeah,
I enjoy it.
It is therapeutic.
You know.
And now knowing that we could, if we hit the Cybertruck, like it won't even matter.
That's all.
Yeah.
Wow, we should do that.
No.
No.
And if Colton slingshots some Cybertruck with one of his little fucking marbles, I will curb his teeth.
Just the baseball is the most unlikely.
Baseball. Just throw baseball in your
It's
car.
the most unlikely thing to do damage. It doesn't have a focal point. It's wide.
Want to throw shit at my car. I'm not going to shoot it. I'm not going to throw rocks at it or baseballs or sledgehammers. I'm not going to shoot with a bow and fucking arrow. and I don't appreciate when I'm having a birthday dinner and I get unsolicited 50 fucking texts fucking with me
I
in my
didn't know
car.
you were such a.
It's not being a cunt.
I
It's
wasn't.
just not funny after 45 minutes.
I didn't send a single comment.
Yeah, I agree,
You were
Berto.
hearts and likes.
No, I did a single
No, fuck
comment.
you didn't, dude. You did
Oh, I'm
hearts
not
and
allowed
likes.
to like a comment.
It's just the phone goes bzz, 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 bzz,
Well, look,
bzz on the dinner.
you know what you do?
Dan, you're the only asshole that puts notifications.
That's what I was going to say. You need to.
The Orlando Content House Shindig, happening November 15th and 16th. If you're dumb enough to come, email us, orlando@bubbaarmyhq.com. Let the crew know if you want to be registered for Friday Night Fight Night, orlando@bubbaarmyhq.com. The BTLS show now returns.
We're in the middle of a Diaco Brothers somewhat uncomfortable discussion. Fight, if you will.
It's just a day.
To me, it sounds like you're pretty cool in the pocket, but Dan could escalate to throwing fists at any time. I always feel.
Like Tyreek Hill at any moment.
Well, he was complaining that he was harassed about a Cybertruck all night.
Yeah. And they forgot how to turn the notifications off in the thread.
Where were you getting harassed on was it on social media?
No, it was just by a group text that I didn't ask for that all of a sudden out of nowhere someone starts with another Cybertruck joke and then there's like 50 comments after.
Stop. I have to ask questions here.
Okay.
I'm the Bubba
Judge.
lawyer.
No one ever deserves a mass text like that.
So let me ask a few questions during discovery here. First of all, who started the group text?
Rob, and not Rob Elder. You know him. I'm not going to say his name.
And I just sent you the text that it started with.
Oh, so Jay's going to just keep
I'm just showing the picture.
Scraping the scabs
I'm just
off.
going to see because you get so sensitive over it. Because Bubba's now making an issue. I'm going to let him see what it was.
It's going. I'm having dinner at Cafe Paradiso for my son's 13th birthday.
Hold on. You're getting ahead of yourself,
I'm just giving you the context.
Not Ocean Prime.
All right. So yeah, you
He wanted to go to an Italian restaurant.
Okay, hold on, please. Okay. So Rob, who I know you're talking about, along with who else? I need to know all parties involved. I know who Rob is, and then was it Jay?
He sent that picture to me, Steven, and Danny only.
Okay, so Steven, Dan, Rob, and Jay.
Yes.
4-person text. Much like sometimes me, you, Steve, and Jay will get on a text, and I'll put like Steve as the wolf, and I'll put a cobra up for and now we've since put a tiger up for you, but we used to put a unicorn up, and you'd get really mad about it.
It's almost back to the unicorn.
Right, and so it's almost you used to have tiger status, but you're starting to corn yourself out here, bud. So you're some of the most closest people in your life are busting your balls about your Cybertruck, and I've seen the 2 pictures that were sent to you, and this is during a dinner during your son's birthday dinner at a fancy Italian place.
Mm-hmm.
And these are the two pictures, I think I have them both, that irritated you.
Right, and the first picture I laughed at. It's just the 50 pile-on texts afterwards got annoying.
Which I did none. I didn't say a single comment.
Likes
I
or
sent that
saying
picture.
comments?
My response was sending that
All right,
picture,
so Jay-
which I already sent to Dan earlier in the week.
Jay's only participation was the one picture.
And then Dan lost it.
Not just his only participation was not that. He also hearted things and laughed at things and ha-has and hearts and stuff like that.
Dan, what are you, in 8th grade now?
No, he's a unicorn.
I mean, we're going to hearting and liking. I mean, are you Sophia or Dan Diaco? Which one?
Dude, I'm Dan Diaco, but you said, and so it's just annoying. The 50th one gets annoying. I laughed the first one. The next 8 were okay, and then eventually I'm trying to eat dinner, and it's annoying.
You mute the thread. Mute it.
Why don't you just cut a promo on them and say?
I did, and then I got a call from Steven. Don't pick a fight with these guys. I'm like, okay.
And then I got a call from Steven.
Goodbye, guys.
And then everyone got a call from Steven.
I don't want to fight. You guys have a good night. I'm at dinner for my son's
hold on.
birthday.
Let me see if I want to know the chain of custody here. So you flip out on a text. Steven then calls you
Directly. Because it's funny until I have any response whatsoever.
I understand. Steven calls and sees that you're visually, or hears that you visually are upset. I'm assuming that call lasted 36 seconds or less. You're like, Steven then contacts everybody. Leave Danny alone. He's flipped out, right?
I don't know what Steven said. Steven said, don't pick a fight to me.
Oh.
They're messing with me, and then he yells at me for picking a fight when I said...
Well, because you like to fight.
You know what the boss move is, Dan? Next time this happens, and I know I'll show you how to do it, is you can leave that conversation.
Yeah, that's what I'll just do next time. As soon as it happens, I just leave. Goodbye.
Says Dan has left the conversation. Everybody goes, damn, we messed up.
Yeah,
and that's all you got to do.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then, hold on. Then, Dan, now you got everybody thinking that you're mad at them, and they're freaking out that they well, they probably aren't, but I'm just saying they might be freaking out that they've upset you because nobody wants to upset you. Well, actually, everybody does want to upset you because you flip out so much.
Well, the Cybertruck thing is...
You're so volatile. You're like Tyreek Hill. You are that guy. You're kind of... I mean, Dan, you're kind of volatile.
Don't call me Francis. If you call me Francis, I'm going to kill you.
I think Big Army said it well. Never tell an Italian not to say something or do something.
Don't
we're
forget,
going to do it anyway.
Talking about it being confrontational, one would expect that tonight at 8:45 as we bring in Brian Matroni, who is the Dan Irritator, and we're doing a debate show tonight. The presidential debate, obviously Donald Trump, Kamala Harris. That's on. Is it on ABC?
Yes.
It's on ABC, but ABC's not locking it down like CNN did. ABC, I think, is opening it up. We may or may not be able to play.
There's simulcast on all the networks, and all the networks are doing a pre and a post.
Right.
I think Brett ended up saying they ended up not locking it down like they said they were going to.
Right.
Yeah, CNN cried wolf, and they had everybody all freaked out. But we'll at least have the audio feed. Maybe portions of the video feed will all be, kind of armchair quarterbacking. It'll be fun. That will fire up about 8:45, which is 15 minutes before it actually starts, and that's tonight. We'll probably have that on. I was just going to put it on YouTube, and X, but and maybe Twitch. I don't know. It's wherever Rhett wants to put it.
It can be wherever you want.
Can he do like live reaction on YouTube, like while he's looking at the video live? Is he allowed to do that?
What do you mean?
Like while you guys all watch it and you have little boxes in the corners and you all make your commentary like you do, but you can see the visual image of what we're looking at.
I think so. I don't even know. I don't even know what you just said.
Yeah, that's what we did. That's what we did last time.
Yeah. Reaction video.
We did it, Bubba.
That's the way you get around the copyright stuff.
The answer is yes.
He's saying have the video showing.
While you're talking about it, like, Benny does, or, Ruben, or any of these people that are on the new Joe Rogan does, or,
we'll figure it
all
out.
these people do the same thing.
I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. I just know that we're going to be on the air, all of us, breaking this thing down to zero.
See, Burke's going to be on the phone?
And Shannon Burke, well, I don't think he's going to be on during the whole... Is he going to be on during
He was going to do the exact same thing as last time, which I believe he was on the whole time.
Yeah.
On the Comrex.
Okay. I mean, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. We need to get through this Tyreek Hill 9-minute ordeal on CNN with his attorney. So has he already lawyered up?
Yes.
Like, do you think, Jay, this is going to go somewhere civilly?
Absolutely.
Breaking news for you tonight is that Miami-Dade County Police have just released this dramatic new body cam footage of the NFL star Tyreek Hill. I
hope I don't ever get publicly, ripped out of a car, because I'm going to have to say, sir, you're going to have to get 2 sets of handcuffs. My T-Rex arms won't.
Do you have any zip ties?
Yeah.
He was pulled from his car and placed in handcuffs yesterday.
Get out! Get out!
Now, they conveniently don't show Tyreek being a complete dick, saying, why you knocking on my window? I ain't rolling it down. They pick it up from where he's already irritated the cop enough to get his ass yoked out of the car. But because before this is somewhat germane, the interaction that they had with Tyreek Hill that led up to this is, I think, relevant.
Oh, it's relevant. Absolutely.
What part of fellas doing this?
Now, I don't think that you have to immediately put a guy to the ground.
Nope.
Why couldn't they lean him against his car and handcuff him that way?
Hey, don't get arrested, dude.
At this point, I wasn't listening, or I was listening, but I couldn't see. He's already given them his driver's license, right? So they know he's Tyreek Hill?
Yeah.
That's why
here's what
the
happened.
excessiveness, I heard most of it. So the excessive nature of them doing this is even worse when they know who he is. They're in
Hold
front
on,
of
no, Jay, they didn't look at the driver's license.
They didn't. I think
he rolled it back up when he handed it to him. And
yeah,
then
and
he
I think the guy put it in his pocket.
Yeah.
Because at that point he wanted him out of the car. So I don't know that he'd been ran or even identified yet, because they were more concerned about yoking his ass out of the car based on the attitude that he's given. Had he just given him his ID and not an attitude, that might have bettered his cause of being correctly identified. But when you don't comply, then they don't go ahead and run you. They just yoke you.
I'm getting arrested, Drew. I'm getting out, bro. God damn. When we tell you to do something, you do it. You understand? I'm getting out, you understand? Not what you want.
Maybe some elbow damage too, Jay.
I see
right?
it. Yes, I do.
Just a few moments later,
going against the joint.
This happened.
Hold on, bro. I just had surgery on my knee. I just had surgery on my knee, bro. I just had surgery.
Now, if he's just
he dragged him by the throat and threw him on the ground. That's
now if you look at this, he's not fighting. He's not wiggling around trying to get out of his cuffs. He's not trying to flee. He's just standing there, and the cop has hands on him. Why do you have to forcefully make him choke slam him down to the ground? He's not doing anything wrong at this point, unless, I guess, procedurally they want you to sit down. Yes, you know what? Tyreek Hill is so fast that he probably could outrun these guys with handcuffs on.
But if you have a little old lady,
chance against him, dude. No chance. He's the fastest guy in Florida.
That's what I'm trying to say. Is usually you can't run very fast with handcuffs because you need your arms to get it going. But this, to the cop's excuse, he's Tyreek Hill. He can outrun us with handcuffs on.
Where's he going?
He's not going anywhere.
Where's he going?
I just had surgery on my knee.
You can't do that to a little old lady that has a knee problem.
I just heard you in your ears when we go there. Chill, bro.
Look, Bubba, you know,
that
we're
guy
pro
right
Leo.
there.
That's the guy who did both of the things.
That guy right there,
he's
man.
the one in trouble.
I hope he's the one that's in question.
He is.
Okay.
He's the one. I believe he's the one that's been suspended because he's not even the one that started the pullover, but he's the one that yoked him out of the car, and then he's the one that pulled him down right there.
Back up. Hey, call Drew.
And now he's the one that goes to the other guys. Look at him.
Hey, call Drew.
And Tyreek saying, call Drew.
I want to get straight to the source tonight with the man in that video, NFL star Tyreek Hill, and also his attorney, Julius Collins, joined me tonight. Thank you both so much for being here. I mean, Tyreek, obviously, watching that video, just when you watched it back for the first time, tell me what was going through your mind in those moments.
Man, for real, I was shocked, man. Like it's crazy because it all.
I gotta tell you, if I'm Tyreek, I just let the smooth lawyer do the talking.
Exactly. Right. And or have thought out what you were going to say and not say, man, Hank, yeah, this was crazy.
I just say,
if
hey,
my
Jay,
kid spoke like this about anything.
Jay, I think, although I'm pretty well versed and I could probably speak better than Tyreek, I'm just going to let my lawyer do the talking because he won't mess it up.
For sure. This is a very smart individual. You can also give him a 30-second, like, here's what you say.
Yeah.
All happened so fast, man. But, like, for me, man, like, it just all happened so fast, and I really couldn't, like...
Public perception is everything, especially if you could possibly be trying this in front of in your own backyard, jury of your peers. I think being a little less ghetto and maybe letting your very smooth attorney answer these questions might get you further down the lawsuit line.
Gather everything that was happening, so it was crazy. And me being a father, me being a husband and all that, man, I would just put myself in that situation like, hey, I got to be smart. You know what I'm saying?
But you weren't smart. You weren't smart from the get-go. One, you were driving very erratically, which, okay, so do I. Can't sit here and say I don't do that. Two, I would not have acted the way you did when the officer pulled me over. I would have been completely opposite. All my windows would have been rolled down. My dome light would have been on. And I would have been, yes, sir, no, sir. Yep, I'll get out of the car. You don't have to throw me down. I'll gladly get out of the vehicle.
Bubba, Clem policies and procedures.
I wasn't on that kind of energy. Like, I was chilling. Like, I was following rules.
See, I don't know if that works. And I don't know if public perception wants to hear, I was chilling. I wasn't even in there. I was chilling.
I wasn't moving fast because, I got injuries. You feel me? I got things that I go through. I play a physical sport. I've been doing this for a moment now, man. So I'm dealing with some stuff. So I guess the officers, they felt like I wasn't doing it on their timing. But I was doing it. But, man, I'm still kind of shell-shocked from it, man. I'm embarrassed, but...
Well, and when you watch it,
here we are.
Can you tell us what happened with the moment with, you didn't see it there in the video, but you're in the car, they're yelling at you to roll your window down. What was happening there?
You know what? When the officer came up and knocked on my window, I let...
Yeah, he had and let me answer this question. You had an attitude, and you told him to quit knocking on your window.
Like that. Don't knock on my window like that.
My window down, cooperated.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. You didn't cooperate at all. You immediately had an attitude and said, why are you knocking on my window like that? Don't knock on my window. Don't knock on my window. That's not...
He said it 5 times.
Gave him my ID, and then I immediately let up my window. And then after that, I let back up my window, and then he came back to the window and was like, let your window down now, let your window down now. And then I let it down. That's when he said, if you don't let your window down, I'm going to snatch you out.
Now, hold on. Doesn't he contradict himself by saying, then I let it down, but then he said, if you don't let it down.
Let your window down now, let your window down now. And then I let it down.
All right, let it down.
That's when he said, if you don't let your window down, I'm going to snatch you out the car. I was like, sir, my window is down. Like, what do you want? I'm not trying to cause a scene because, if I let my window down, like, people walking by, driving by, they're going to notice that it's me, and they're going to start taking pictures. And
this is a lot about him. This is not humble. This is not...
Like, I didn't want to create a scene at all. Like, I just...
But he didn't say any of that to the police officer. If he had just said, listen, I'm Tyreek Hill. I don't have any weapons in the car. Do you mind if I keep the window down just a bit? I'm sorry. I just trying to keep it from being a scene.
And then just go on about my way, and then just, just have a great Sunday. You know what I'm saying? Because really...
I mean, police on...
Like, I really could have just kept going to the stadium, but I really just pulled to the side, just chilling. Because I was that close to the stadium. Like, I was that close to, like, our entry level on, like, I was that close to the players' entry level.
Just past those cones
from that
where it
moment,
looks like he's going
the guy
in, Bubba.
came from the back. He was like, hey, get out. He was like, hey, I'm about to snatch you out the car or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And then it just all unfolded from there. Because I was finna get out my car. You know what I'm saying? Because they told me to get out. Because I was getting out my car, but the way that my car made is like a dip inside of McLaren 720S.
Well, it
hard to get out of,
dude. $500,000 car.
It's hard to get out of. The car had the same kind of entrance.
It is, but he made sure he threw the. He made sure he. Hold on. He wants to make sure you know what kind of model he's got. Listen.
Hey, I'm about to snatch you out the car or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And then it just all unfolded from there. Cause I was finna get out my car. You know what I'm saying? Cause they told me to get out. Cause I was getting out my car, but the way that my car made is like a dip inside of McLaren 720S.
720S.
There's a dip. That's what he's saying. There's a dip.
Yeah.
It's like a bucket. You go into
but
it.
He's making sure you know the model number.
Hey, what kind of car?
720S.
That's right.
Well, it happened so quickly. I mean, it's like right after they direct you.
Man, why can't I be like, come on, Tyreek, you know you were like not being compliant. You were being a problem from the minute they pulled you
to
over.
open the door. It's like seconds later when you open it, and then you're pulled from the car. And I saw that you said if you weren't Tyreek Hill, that you feared this could have ended a lot differently. What do you think could have happened?
Yeah, like so.
Well, if you weren't Tyreek Hill, you'd be in jail right now.
Mm-hmm.
So the crazy part about it is I hate talking like this, man, but because I have a kid fan base. But the reality of it is, it's the truth. If I wasn't Tyreek Hill, worst case scenario, we would have had a different article. You know, Tyreek Hill, you know, got shot in front of
No
Hard
one
Rock
pulled the gun
Stadium,
out.
You know,
What's he talking about?
Yeah, I mean,
you know what I'm saying? Like, that's where you go with it?
Is this a little race baiting?
A little bit.
I'm just asking for a friend.
Or that's worst case scenario. Or Tyreek Hill, you know, put in handcuffs and taken in and booked. You know, but it's crazy that
See, I have not heard his very well dressed, very good looking lawyer speak yet, but I got to think that his lawyer would be repping this situation far more eloquent, if that's the word. I
think it is.
Yeah,
eloquently.
Than Tyreek. I don't think Tyreek betters himself at all.
Me and my family had to go through this, you know. So.
Hey, you scored the winning 80-yard touchdown. I mean, other than this.
Good thing you were there.
What, you're saying it's good luck to get detained before games now, Bubba?
No,
not if you're a golfer.
That would happen to DeChambeau?
It's better if you're a football player than a golfer.
Julian.
Yeah, works out better for football players and golfers.
Yeah, I got to go, guys. I'll see you tonight.
All right, see you later. The white golfer went to jail, did he not? Didn't he?
Yes.
Yeah, they let him go. Yeah. They came and they bailed him out real quick.
We heard from the president of
I think
this
like the head of the PGA had to come and say, "What the hell is going on around
South Florida Police Benevolent Association, basically the union that represents them." And they said, and I'm quoting him, they claim that your client was not immediately cooperative with the officers on the scene who, pursuant to policy and for their immediate safety, placed him in handcuffs. They said he was uncooperative, refused to sit on the ground, and was redirected to the ground. And that once it was sorted out within a few minutes, he was issued 2 traffic citations and was free to leave. I mean, when you look at the video, is that how you would describe what happened?
Absolutely not. From what we know, and they sent us a zip file with us about 5 or 6 body cam videos. The officer who we believe is now possibly on leave, that's the officer that you saw snatching Tyreek out of the vehicle, right? That was the most aggressive person. The person that Tyreek spoke with, who originally came to the car, he wasn't aggressive by any means. It was the other guy that came in that got super aggressive with Tyreek about the window. I think he even said, "We'll break this freaking glass if we need to." And then he just snatches him out of the car. I want to say it looked like he opened up the door for Tyreek. And another portion is Tyreek actually put on his seatbelt. There's another body cam showing Tyreek putting on his seatbelt. So
Well, that was because he didn't have his seatbelt on, and he was trying to.
Well, I mean, you gotta when they
Right.
go, "Where's your seatbelt?" I mean, just put it on. At
Yeah,
that
exactly, exactly. But I mean, they've already told you that they caught you without
It's
it.
like putting on a condom after you had sex.
Exactly. Great analogy. Hold on, I just had sex and I ejaculated inside of you, but let me put a condom on and hope you don't get pregnant.
Right.
Okay?
You're right. That was funny.
That was great, Seth. That was. Where's my? I don't have my little correction.
Stop it. Just send it in put it on my paycheck. You're good.
Send you a 5.
Send me a 5 for that one. Yeah.
Seth doesn't want sound effects. He wants $5 bills.
Calling Miami Dolphin security to let him know what's going on. So that's the delay, that immediate portion that they're talking about. He's taking.
Man, where's Dan Marino when you need him? Dan Marino would have rolled up in there.
Oh, he would have started beating Tyreek himself. He would have gone, "How come I never could have had a receiver like you?"
If I would have had you, bitch, I would have had 3 Super Bowls in my pocket.
I don't want Mark Duper.
Drew Brooks on the phone from the Miami Dolphins.
I don't want Mark Duper.
Oh, God, that's a hilarious reference.
And then you see him getting snatched out of a car. Like he says, he's driving a McLaren. It's a dip in it, and he just had some repairs done on his knee. He can't jump out immediately. If you saw, also he put up.
I'll tell you one thing: he can haul ass on an 80-yard TD haul though, and outrun other African American defensive backs quite nicely.
I mean, honestly, Bubba, if they never took him to the ground and they left him standing there in cuffs, I mean, he could have outrun them to the facility.
Yeah,
they would have never.
He's the only guy that can outrun. He's
back.
the only guy that can be faster with handcuffs on.
They would have never had a shot.
To show that he didn't have a firearm, he wasn't a threat, and that he was complying with officers. I mean, you know, as far as the statement goes, though, from the police union, I think the video contradicts everything that they're saying, even down to the notion that he refused to sit down. He actually told the guy, "Hold on, I'm going to sit."
I think where you're wrong is you're not taking in consideration the very first part of the video that CNN chose not to show. Of
course.
Well, I think he's only honing, but he seems to only be honing in on one of the police officers, which I think is everybody. They all seem to get grouped together, but he is out of all of them. It looks like just one guy was kind of a hothead.
He's honing in on the excessive force, Bubba.
Right.
The guy that did everything. You know, it doesn't matter really what Tyreek did before that. Because even if they had a right to remove him from the car and had a right to have him sit down, the way that it was done was excessive.
Right.
Would you ever wear a bow tie, Jay?
Absolutely not, nor suspenders.
Had surgery. And that's when that same officer who snatched him out of the car, that threw him down to the ground, that placed his knee in his back, then grabs him in like some kind of chokehold and drags him down to the ground. The video even goes.
I mean, the lawyer's mildly mildly
you mean exaggerating?
Yeah, exaggerating. I mean, you know, he's I mean, this did happen, but
we call that advocating.
But he's very much.
They got a 2-point takedown on
refused
Tyreek.
to sit down. He actually told me,
Here we go.
"Yeah, hold on, I'm going to sit. I just had surgery." And that's when that same officer who snatched him out of the car, that threw him down to the ground, that placed his knee in his back, then grabs him in like some kind of chokehold and drags him down to the ground. The video even goes further where you see him put his hand on Tyreek's throat. So that's what the police union didn't state in their statement.
Yeah.
So the video contradicts it.
And I
now, Jay, does
look at Tyreek? He goes,
does the argument of what real damages you suffered come into play here?
Yes.
I mean, you know, like at the end of the day, would the defense not be able to say, you ran an 80-yard touchdown? You had a really good game this game. Your knee didn't give out. You outran. I mean, the 80-yard touchdown. Show me the highlights on that.
All right.
It was that was it was the winning touchdown. It was 80 yards, and an 80-yard touchdown in the NFL is spectacular because you got 11 other dudes that are chasing after you that are all, world-class athletes, and your defensive backs, safety / corners most of the time are nearly as fast as you. Now, we're dealing also with the fastest guy in the league. So, to me, Jay, it would be hard to prove damages on this.
That's why he's talking about the emotional side of it. You know, as a father and a husband, it's hard to see that. I'm still a little quote unquote shell shocked.
I should note that
he's trying to get to mental
said,
damages.
Right.
That they released the video.
Me and my family.
I was embarrassed by it. My
keep
family,
the public
my children.
informed.
It's all about emotional
one of the officers
damages.
involved was placed on administrative duty as all this is being.
Let me know when you have it.
Investigated. Tyreek, just before you go, you just tweeted a moment ago. You said, "Let's make a change." What did you mean by that?
Right. What I meant is let me be the police chief for let's make
I sent you pretty much just highlights of that game.
You did?
Yeah, just so you can see all the catches and.
All right,
all the fun.
So I mean, so Jay, if you're the city of Miami or whoever he's suing,
just settle.
In any way, shape, or form,
they should just settle. I mean,
Bubba,
in Golden.
What's that? I haven't heard of any. I haven't heard of them going after.
They will. I mean, this is how it starts.
If they do it right, they'll do it quietly.
Johnson pushed out of bounds.
So if you were in front of a jury, you'd be like, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, this guy claims to have potentially have damaged his knee. a few hours earlier while sitting curbside.
Right.
But yet he was able to and remain the world class great.
And the damage to his reputation. Do you know all those people who are screaming for him? Do you think they care he just got arrested?
And do you hear any boos?
Right.
So you can say his knee was so damaged that he could actually get out of the grasp of another. And I got to tell you right
What a
now,
player.
75% of most receivers, with the 5 having the pursuit angle. 75. Most receivers get hawked down by the 5 unless you got world-class Tyreek Hill speed, and watch him take this guy's pursuit angle and throw it right up his ass. Check this out.
He's got Hill! When the guy was going to go for his feet, it was perfect.
I think they did the handcuff celebration where he put his hands on his back.
With a little bit of results from the 34s.
What's that, Lemmy?
I say that.
I mean, Hill had a big game.
He's a heck of a player, man. Wow. What a dynamic player.
I don't think they're working like a busted knee angle, Bub. I think that was just something he shouted out because he didn't want to, go face down on the ground. But I don't know. I don't know what they're going to move forward with.
I mean, Jake, what do you think they're moving forward with here?
It's
Quietly.
such a bad PR look for the police department that they've got to do something to try to stop the bleeding, because otherwise he's going to be out there for weeks talking about how badly the police are, and
what about firing the cop? Is that's
a no-brainer? They should.
Well, their lawyers, lawyers for the cop have come out and said that they want him reinstated.
Well, that's the union. That's the union, of course, that they always want. Hold on here.
So, I'm a good old country boy from South Georgia, man. Like, I'm not a big believer in dividing people. I don't believe in all that, man. I believe in bringing people together.
Good.
Because that's my purpose in life. I do football camps all across the world, man, trying to bring different people together.
And to his credit, he does.
Yeah,
he does a ton of free football camps for youth.
He gives his chains away if you can catch a pass on him on a route or something.
He loves making babies.
He likes making babies.
He wants that tax credit, guys. All right.
Kamala's saying they're going to bump it up to $6,500.
Exactly.
Tyreek Hill's going to pay no taxes here soon. He's going to have 10 babies this year.
We in this together, baby. Like, we on this earth together. We got to live together. So when I say let's make a change, let's do it together. So Miami PD, really all officers across the world, man, because one officer doesn't, make the whole group
look bad.
That. Like everybody has bad apples. Every team has bad apples. It's my job to use my platform and my resources, so that way I'm able to align, with these different stations. So that's what I mean when I say let's make a change. Like,
good.
That's the best part of the interview.
Let's not sue. Let's cause this to be a learning experience and make a change.
And if that were true, he should say, "Look, we're both responsible."
We don't try.
I wish I had done. I wish I handled myself a little better.
Protests. We even took a knee. We done did walks. So what's next? So right now, me and my wife, we right now brainstorming on how can we be a part of this change. So it's important to us. Because we want to be able to change lives all the way.
Well, I mean,
Tyreek for sheriff.
It starts with you being less of a dick when pulled over by the police. It starts with him. It was a series of events that led up to the firing of a police officer. But had Tyreek just been a gentleman and listened, we wouldn't be in this situation.
I sent you Ron DeSantis' response to it.
He's got one.
He's got a response.
Someone asked him.
I gotta tell you.
I mean, come on.
I gotta tell you.
Someone asked him a question.
I really dislike this guy.
Dude, he was everybody. This was the next Donald Trump.
I've never seen a politician blow it more than him.
He outrated Trump.
He said woke too much.
Hold on. First term, nailed it. Second term, thought he was Hitler, and for real. Took out Andrew Warren, took on Disney, 0 weeks for abortion. Like, just, I mean, this guy.
No more drag queen story time. Thanks a lot, Ronnie D.
Lummy, is this?
Well, Macho says you got to go to break, but yeah, it's a response.
I know Macho says I need to go to a break, but if I can clear this 44 seconds.
Yeah, it's about it.
Was it where it needed to be?
No, it's all at the beginning. Yeah.
Tyreek Hill, maybe you saw something along those lines, and an officer has been reassigned, and just wondering what you take away from that, and if you saw that, and what your thoughts are.
So I have not gotten any details on it. I think they're going to do an investigation, and I think that that's appropriate. I was pleased to see he did well in the game, and it was good for the team, what happened on the field. But I think that I have confidence in agencies throughout this state that they want to uphold the highest standards of professionalism. And if for some reason that wasn't followed here, I know that they will make that clear. But I'll let that investigation take place.
There you go. I mean, just standard.
He didn't place blame on Tyreek?
He's lost some weight.
Yes, a little too late.
If you want 24/7 on-demand Bubba and the crew, go to BubbaArmyHQ.com.
Right now.
The Bubba the Love Sponge show will be back after this.
He was kind of trying to get, I don't know.
He tried to.
Was he like a radical, like a right radical?
Yeah, he just went so far fucking right.
Right.
Thinking that he had to go more right than Trump to get, the nomination, that he just, one of the worst things he did was fucking remove Andrew Warren. Democratic prosecutor from Tampa who is elected by the people and is in an email chain with other prosecutors. And the question was,
what up, Alan?
If a girl went to an abortion clinic and got an abortion,
what up, Lunger?
Outside of your state rules, would you prosecute her? And he just, in part of an email chain, he just said, I don't know how I would handle that. That's all he said. There was no instances of that happening in his area.
Andrew Warren said that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He was part of an email chain, and he just said, I don't know how I would handle that. That's it. And that got him removed from office. Now.
What up, Grouper Lips?
And people that, championed for Andrew Warren said, how can you remove a guy when nothing like this happened and he just gave his opinion? Your opinion can now get your fucking throat out?
That's what I'm saying, man.
No, fucking Ron DeSantis is a fucking dumbass.
But he's got a big feral hog in his pants, baby.
Okay.
That's all I give a fuck about. I always vote for who is who I believe is the most well-hung.
You do?
Yes, sir. That's why I'm voting for Kamala. Because I believe Dougie has a bigger one than Trump.
Oh, I thought you meant she did.
This can't be another Democratic lady that's got a penis. That's already Michelle Obama's gig that people put on her.
Big Cam. Big Mike.
Oh, man. There's nothing that 100 men or more could ever do.
I'm good, Big Buck. How you doing,
I'll sleep in a tent with Colton and Patrick.
I really think he should shake her hand. Big time.
Oh, they should kiss on the cheek like in France.
But it's like, when he and Hillary the first time went out, they shook each other's hand. I don't think they did the last time, but when he and Joe didn't shake each other's hand, it looks like shit. Be presidential.
Well, they didn't want. I don't think they wanted to get Joe. I don't think they wanted to get Joe rattled by having to move or do too much. So
I think him standing next to her and shaking her little hand will be an incredible visual image.
You'd like to see it, man. I mean,
because he's so much taller than her. That's why she wanted to sit down during the debate, because she doesn't want to be dominated over in size.
Because she's 5'1".
Right. There's never been a president under 6 feet.
Have a booster.
There's never been a president under 6 feet, and did want a booster too. You're right.
But they're not allowed.
Nope, because Bloomberg tried. They said no lifts. You must present a candidate as they are.
Jesse Waters.
Apparently, we watch the same stuff.
Exactly.
But I watched both sides. That the thing about that Caitlin Collins one, I shut it off by the last 2 minutes because I just couldn't stand it. I made it about 7 minutes through it. I'm like, okay. And that was the best part of it. Was at the end. Because I'm all about you.
Yeah, Travis, chuck him up. Get him in the air conditioning vents. Let other people in the office smell him.
England. What's up, everybody? How you doing, DDP?
What up, Nick? What up, Cracker Chris?
Big Longer, the Brian Gilson. Trick me with
How about Aaron Rodgers last night, babies?
Bradley.
Yeah.
How'd he play?
Like crap?
Not great.
Oh, no.
I mean, he didn't.
Oh,
no. Had a couple good drives.
Who was the president who was 5'4"? Dust God?
Was it the Jets defense that sucked?
Yeah. I mean, but Christian McCaffrey didn't even play. I mean, they still ate up the Jets.
I don't think it's a requirement of it.
Yeah.
It's been one of the facts.
What was Rodgers? Did he have how many yards?
Like 150.
Yeah, he had under 200.
Did he look like shit?
Actually, early on, he looked really, really good. I think that 49ers clamped down as the game went on, but his first couple drives, he was just sitting back.
He was slinging it.
Yeah.
He looked comfortable.
He's going to turn that Garrett Wilson kid into Devontae
Yeah,
Adams.
he got like 5 catches for the first 5 catches.
Yeah, he has that number 1 receiver, and he can play pitch and catch all day. That's what he thrives on.
The Orlando Content House, Shindig, it's going to be a bunch of dudes doing stuff dudes do. Happening November 15th and 16th. If you want to come see this freak show, email us, orlando@BubbaArmyHQ.com. Let the crew know if you want to be registered for Friday Night Fight Night. Orlando@BubbaArmyHQ.com. The BTLS show now returns.
Tonight, 8:45, we'll do a debate show. Kamala Harris taking on Donald Trump on ABC. It'll be broadcast pretty much anywhere and everywhere. It'll be interesting to get our take on it. I think Shannon Burke might pipe in, too. The big hubbub now, one of the things I want to talk about before we leave, that's, by the way, at 8:45, it'll be on, I think, definitely YouTube and X. Definitely those two, maybe more. This article comes from WFLA Channel 8 here in town, and it says, pushing false claims, ? J.D. Vance and Elon Musk are among the... when did FLA turn so lib?
A while back.
Are pushing false claims of Haitian immigrants that are abducting and eating pets in Ohio. Police say that these claims are false. Now...
I don't know what J.D. Vance is up to, but Elon Musk's Twitter is
on fire.
And it's full of this stuff.
Now,
this is crazy.
We actually have Lummy, Bubba Army Royalty, and Abby Morgan, and she's been listening to the show ever since the Sirius XM days. She's a great listener. She participates and buys merchandise and donates when she can.
Sends emails about content too.
I got an email from her, and it says Dateline, Springfield, Ohio. Hey guys, now this is a listener. This isn't a news source. This isn't J.D. Vance. This isn't FLA calling J.D. Vance and Elon Musk a fraud or a fake. This is a person that lives. This is a Bubba Army. This is a woman, Abby Morgan, who's Bubba Army and has been for well over a decade, and she lives in Springfield, Ohio. And she writes, I actually live in Springfield, Ohio. Merch Crick can verify it if she'd like to see how much merchandise I've ordered. And indeed she does and did. It's true that we had 20,000 Haitians come to our city since 2020. Our population was 60,000 before, and now it's closer to 80. They are able to get a driver's license permit so they can drive legally, and there's been an increase of car accidents in our city. Last year, on the first day of school, an illegal got into an accident with a school bus. He drove into the oncoming lane where the school bus was, causing the bus to go into the ditch, and get knocked on its side, causing the death of a 10-year-old kid.
Oh, no.
The guy was found guilty in the trial this year. Our police department made an announcement yesterday that there are no Haitians killing and or eating animals. Whatever was being said. Trump even tweeted on Truth Social about it. We just have had more car accidents that involve Haitians that probably don't have any car insurance.
Now, that's a real thing, Bubba, and I can tell you as somebody in the state of Florida, there's a huge problem with uninsured drivers in the state of Florida, and whether they're illegal or illegal migrants, the economy is such that people can barely afford insurance. And so the people at Springfield's premiums have gone up significantly because of all of the uninsured migrants, Haitian migrants, in Springfield specifically.
Well, if you follow our Twitter, we have a lot of these stories on there about the Haitians eating for the last couple of days, eating cats. And
It's just like when they were grilling rats, like out of the streets of New York.
But like that video we watched yesterday where the police officer went up to the lady on the driveway eating the cat.
Well, this is like a big red herring, Bubba, because is the story really about whether or not Haitians are eating cats and whether or not that's true? Or is the real story that 20,000 people were shipped into a little community in Ohio where the population was 40,000 and now it's 60,000 with 20,000 Haitians?
And why did they pick Little Springfield, Ohio,
right.
of all places?
It's not a sanctuary city. It's not a sanctuary state. And this little community can't do anything about it. And that's the story. But we're sitting here going, it was untrue. There's no one eating cats. Who gives an F?
Well, Jay, if you look at it,
that's not the story.
They're putting them in the little cities because in Alabama they're having that problem too.
They're doing it all over the place.
So they're picking these little cities,
yes,
trying to stay under the radar.
Well, they don't have really a say.
They can't do anything about it. The cities they're hamstrung, Bubba. They don't know how to deal with fighting the federal government.
I'm
so
28 years old.
Councils like this. What are they going to do? Call up the Biden administration and say, stop this? Yeah, okay, whatever.
This is, I don't think this is an Alex Stein situation. This is the Springfield City Commission meeting.
Yep.
And this is a guy who lives in Springfield, Ohio, much like Abby Morgan. And he's raising his concerns about the influx of 20,000. Listen, I don't think anybody disputes the fact that there's been 20,000 Haitians placed in Springfield.
Nope.
I think that the only thing they're arguing about is to whether they're eating Fido or not.
Other
than that, people agree that there are, and a town of 60,000, the size of like Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Right.
When you put 20 additional, a third, 33% more people in a town that has the infrastructure to take care of 60. From schools to garbage collection to parks to your town is wired to take care of X amount of people. Now,
I sent you another one of this older lady that's in the city, the same.
It's heartbreaking.
Yeah,
it's heartbreaking.
And this is an older lady.
Yeah.
From
Springfield, Ohio.
All right, let me turn the volume up here.
I live at 426 Northwestern Avenue. Miss Skinner, who I'm not trying to put on the spot, is my neighbor.
Just talk to me, ma'am. Thank you so much.
And I'm done with what I'm seeing. It is so unsafe in my neighborhood anymore. I have the homeless that were trying to camp out, and I have made concessions with them, and I try to help them the best I can to keep them from trying to squat on my property. But it is so unsafe. I have men that cannot speak English in my front yard screaming at me, throwing mattresses in my front yard, throwing trash in my front yard, and I can't. Look at me, I weigh 95 pounds. I couldn't defend myself if I had to. My husband is elderly, and last night, after living in this home for 45 years, he said, Noelle, guess what? It's time to pack up and move. He said, we can't do this anymore. He said, it's killing both of us mentally. Here
you are, you've lived in this city probably most of your life.
45 years.
And now you have to leave. Not leave because you lost your job. Not leave because, your mom's sick in California. You got to go take care of her. You got to leave. And you don't want to leave your beautiful city of Springfield. You've been there 45 years. You got to leave because the government, not even the city of Springfield, but the government has dumped 20,000 Haitian people in your community, and there's a portion of those that are squatting in your neighborhood, slowly infiltrating your space.
And they got temporary protective status from the federal government, which is why they can't do anything.
Understand what you expect
by the
of us as
Kamala Harris
citizens.
administration.
I mean, I understand they're here under temporary protected status, and you're protecting them, and I understand that.
But why?
Right.
Our city services are overwhelmed and understaffed. But who's protecting us? If we're protecting them, who's protecting me? I want out of this town. I am sorry. Please give me a reason to stay.
What?
Right?
Wow.
Isn't that incredible?
That is
sad.
Moving.
So, one of the things about this immigration policy, how do Haitians get across the sea to the United States? Well, I'll tell you how. The United States government flies them for free. And then the vetting process for Haiti, because we do not have a vetting process that is an actually intellectually honest vetting process, they found that 3,000 or 4,000 addresses are being used for the same people. They're warehouses, they're made-up addresses, they're not doing anything. Haiti has refused to cooperate with us to tell us who's a criminal and who's not a criminal. So we say, let's fly them in free of cost, let's put them in Springfield, Ohio, let's give them government benefits, let's register them in our schools, let's put them at the bus stops so our kids can't on buses.
Let's register them to vote Democrat.
That's right. And then, there's 17 states that forbid the question of asking, are you a citizen, for voting. 17. That's absurd.
28 years.
Something's got to be done about this.
Here's another guy from Springfield.
Protect our citizens.
28 years old, and I'm a social media influencer, and I just be on TikTok and stuff. I do YouTube. I think it's kind of odd that a guy like me has to come out from doing what I do on a daily basis to have fun, because I see what's going on in these streets, and I see you guys just sitting up there in them comfy chairs and suits, and I'm getting out here every day. And I'm broadcasting this, and you guys are just sitting up there in suits or something. I really challenge you guys to get out here and do something. Mm-hmm. These Haitians are running into trash cans. They're running into buildings. They're running into... They flipping cars in the middle of the street. Mm. And it's nothing but immigrants over there. And I don't even want to, seem like I'm coming down on the immigrants, because it's the people that's bringing them down here. Because wherever they're at, that's what they're used to, bro. They're in the park grabbing up ducks by their neck and cutting their head off and walking off with them and eating them
Oh, see, it wasn't cats, Bubba. It was ducks.
Rick Detro, 25, Mario Nitro, 25, and Ford Santinas, 20. Matthew and Matthew Hoxie with a standard 25.
Nice.
Thank you, guys. Hold on.
Is it time to go already?
What's going on?
No, I gotta go to words. I'm one late. Then it'll be time to go.
Want to listen to the show on demand and on the go? Enlist today at BubbaArmyHQ.com. Sign up and start listening. The Bubba the Love Sponge show will be back after this.
Man-spreading is when you sit down on a subway and you or spread your legs open and nobody has any space.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it's not like a hairy egg hanging out?
I know.
Because that would be unnecessarily wide man spreading.
And then there's mansplaining, which, we all understand.
Oh, that's pretty bad right there.
Yeah.
Woman's viral video. What's saying that this isn't her boyfriend?
It's crap.
It is,
it's
Bubba.
a setup, Bubba. You're right.
All these shitheads love making content on
Yeah,
planes.
I'm not even gonna I'm done.
Fuck you, bitch, right?
Well, I sent you that kind of breakdown for the fantasy that you ask for every week.
Can we break down my fantasies?
Oh, that would take too long.
Yeah, Erica had to play against. Let me see your TDs and got look how many fucking points. Who's that?
It's Ashley.
Wow.
That's you?
Wow.
It's Ashley.
Cheaters.
Wow, Warren really knows his
Cheaters.
stuff.
It's Ashley.
bitch is fucking unbelievable.
My wife's quarterback got injured.
Look at Susan Poitras, 150.
Mother Bucker, you gotta like that one.
Who's the Ocala Jobbers?
OFF?
I like Let's See Your Titties. That's a great name.
What's your wife's name?
Mother Bucker.
Oh.
I think she was 5th or 6th after she lost her quarterback.
Where'd she lose?
I don't pay attention.
Whatever.
I was at a father-son retreat.
Look at Ashley. That's ridiculous. I mean, Lummy, 157 points is outrageous. I've never...
Susan Poitras got 150.
Because they're working together.
Yeah, with Jay's wife, too. Jay's in first. Jay's wife's in first.
No, she's not.
She's the 1-0.
I don't even know how that works.
Well, she's
I'm so
1-0.
ignorant. So it doesn't matter how many points she has, she's 1-0, she's number 1.
Yeah, because it's all different weeks. Okay. What if next week she loses, but she scores 190 points?
How does she replace an injury? I don't know anything about fantasy football. So her primary is injured. She has an injured reserve person, but the primary may not be back for weeks. Can she pick a new quarterback?
Yeah.
Okay.
She can pick different people up.
You see the 20,000 people get shipped into Springfield. Do you remember when Obama was given his State of the Union and that senator from Georgia said, you know, he's like, we're not going to give benefits to illegals. And he goes, liar, you lie. And it was like this huge deal, and they censored the guy. And look where we are 15 years later. In the open, flying them in, giving them benefits, monthly cards, rent, hotels. No one would have ever imagined this.
Lincoln Park Real's got 150,000 years.
For them.
Oh, yeah.
What's that?
Lincoln Park Real?
All social services.
Oh, it does?
Yeah.
Right.
And Caitlin Clark one's got 250,000.
Do you think that our Instagram being linked to our Facebook is my Facebook is as dead as a doornail? I can't get any traction on it.
Well, you saw that. Right. I don't know if you saw it recently, but
I don't know how many. I don't know how active Facebook is.
Yes, Nick.
I don't know a lot of people on there.
No, I used to be able to. I mean, I was gaining about 1,000 a month. You know, just consistently with what I'm doing, how I do it, and then now I've just hit a wall where I'm losing now, and I'm doing the same thing that I've always did.
Maybe it needs a fresh voice. Maybe I need to come in and freshen it up. No, buddy, I know you're all sensitive about like the videos and all that stuff because it makes the money. But I know all the shit, man, across the board.
You just said a few seconds ago you know nothing about Facebook.
No, I don't know anybody who's on Facebook. I don't know people that like that's their go-to. That's their go-to. What social media site?
Seems like it's all people my age, Seth. Old people. I don't feel old, but people in their 50s still use that shit, which is crazy to me.
Right, but it's the first and really only one they use. I don't know how many of those people are out there.
Well, we used to have a ton of them fucking signing up, and now we're dead as a doornail. So however the fuck do you want to...
Okay, well, Instagram's growing like a motherfucker, Bubba. So, I mean...
I think, okay, no problem. I got bills to pay. If the power bill just came in. Not good.
Let's dispute it.
No. Fuck.
You want me to go back and mess with the power grid?
No.
Let's do it.
We could just tap off our neighbors, Bubba. Get its cable
you
from
guys
over
wouldn't
there.
Believe what the fucking power bill
I don't
is.
want
it's shit's under construction.
They're like when we were in
What's
college.
your power bill at your firm? Do you know?
The Bubba the Love Sponge Show, listener supported via PayPal, Venmo, and Cash App. All at the Bubba Army now returns.
Lummy, it takes a lot to cool this big ass building.
Yes, it does.
Our power bill was $1,500. Yeah, that's really not that bad for. I think we're starting. Have we crossed the threshold of it? Going to start getting cooler?
Not yet.
It felt like it this morning.
Or are we still on the it's hot as balls trajectory?
It's hot as balls. In the amount of rain, it's humid as balls.
Yeah, for at least another month or so.
So when
couple months.
So when does it start cooling down?
End of this month.
Dude, it's been nice out. It was nice last night. It's nice this morning.
Not nice enough to open up the windows with no air on.
No, but we're getting there, Bubba. Just another 2.5 more months, baby.
It has to be in the 50s. It's got to be in the 50s in order for me to open the windows up. Hello. Hello, you're on the air. Quickly. Keyword, quickly.
Hello, Bubba.
Yes.
Bubba. Yeah, I just want to say thank you. I spoke to you guys last week, last Thursday. I was the U.S. Customs guy that called you.
Yeah.
But we received the backpack and all the stuff in that bundle. I want to tell you, it's just beautiful. It was a great purchase. We're going to get a few more for my twins for Christmas. And I just want to say thank you.
Thank you for going to Bubba Army store, Bubba Army merch, Bubba Army shop.com and order your Bubba Army official merchandise. We got the new Fat Man Dunks slides that'll be up soon. Lummy, I think early next week, the red and black old original Jordan-inspired Fat Man Dunks 2. They'll be shipping. And we're also looking at a Bubba Army utility knife, like a knife, and a couple other products for Christmas, including maybe Alpha Volume 25 for Christmas as well. So we have a lot of...
Thank you again. It was really nice.
I appreciate you. I appreciate your order, buddy.
I appreciate you guys, and I sent Lummy that message you told me to send him.
Yes.
About the if you want to do that podcast.
Yeah, we got your.
Know.
I got your info too, so we're gonna definitely hit you up about that.
Thank you guys so much, son.
All right, buddy. Appreciate you.
God bless.
God bless. Don't forget tonight, Lummy, 8:45. We'll be back at 8:45 with Brian Matroni, Dan. Hopefully Jay can calm down. Dan seemed a little uptight today, Jay. Well, I think had a lot to do with you ribbing his dumpster of a truck. You know, he's catching a lot of flack from the Bubba Army, and then when his family starts I can see where he flipped out.
Well, he feels what the thing is, Dan feels all alone right now, and,
he does.
And it's just him and his Cybertruck. We could use is there anybody else with a Cybertruck in Tampa Bay that could
no,
they could start a club together?
I'm sure there's a Facebook Cybertruck support group.
I just feel like Dan is just so
over 50-year-olds.
He's so on his own here.
Do you think Dan Jay is having a buyer's remorse on this because he's getting ribbed so hard?
I think he's taking it more personally than he should because no one's making fun of him. We're all making fun of a truck that he could have bought or not bought. And so it's his personal decision. He's got to live with it.
Is that what Steve told you to say?
I don't think
is that Steve's official statement?
No, Steve's official statement is
leave Danny alone
because
he's borderline ready to lose it.
Right. I don't think he regrets it, Bubba, because he likes that it pisses everybody off. But I think he just wants to pick and choose when people are harassing him about the Cybertruck.
Yeah, bingo.
I think he just like it between 6 and 9, maybe Monday through Friday.
Boy, I would have hated to be
after hours.
Hated to be his family last night at dinner because that it got taken out on all of them.
Happy birthday, Danny.
Especially if they drove the Cybertruck 2-set event.
No way.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Of course they did.
So it's what I'm saying. So he's getting ribbed, and then Steve has to stop the ribbon, and then he loads up in said dumpster to drive home, and he's getting pictures of dumpsters and various memes of people. And
Are the two pictures funny, Bubba?
Very.
Okay.
But I can see where Danny, phew.
When Dan has some free time, I want to take Dan by some schools, by where the mall where a bunch of women
Kids.
hang out. Yeah, where the people that really do like the Cybertruck.
I wonder what his two kids think about it, because those are the Seth, aren't those the we've seen pictures of kids about
kids love it.
Little Danny's age that oh my God, Cybertruck. Well, little Danny's riding in one. I wonder if he tells his dad, "Don't pick me up in the Cybertruck."
I asked him.
Oh, you did?
I took him home Saturday night. He was going to spend the night, and I took him home at 10:15. And I'm like, "So, what do you think of the Cybertruck?" And I said, "Let me just start with, I think it's the ugliest truck that's ever been designed."
And
he goes, "It's kind of ugly from behind, but I like it."
That was what Dad has had.
That was his quote.
Drilled in. Do you ask Sophia and get back to me?
Yeah.
Come on, out of all Dan's fancy cars one day, when little Danny is there, and Big Dan's at his wedding, and they'll be like, "Remember when I had that Cybertruck for 6 months and everybody clowned us until I was so embarrassed I just got rid of it?" They'll have those memories forever.
They will. Throwing the ball in the front yard.
Exactly.
And then he blew his rotator cuff out on.
And then you're still training him out there, Bub, on the cable cross.
Right, exactly.
He's super involved in his kid's life. And happy birthday, little Danny and big Danny. I'm sorry for all the teasing.
Little Danny and Big Danny. I mean, in some instances, they have the same mentality. Tonight, 8:45.
Go Ross Perot!
Go Ross Perot! See you then.
Thanks for letting me finish.
You've been listening to the Bubba the Love Sponge Show, starring
me, Bubba the Love Sponge,
co-host and show historian Lumet.
I'm just straight for the slate markings. Number 2, take 2. Seth Kushner describes his what he does here at the BRN and action.
Seth Money is zesty co-host and president of podcasting.
That's it. That's how you want it.
Do I need more?
Good evening. Co-host Dr. Dan Diaco, Esquire of Council.
Co-host J. Diaco, Esquire, the Spitting Cobra of Council.
Rhett, the Filthy Ginger video editor.
Yeah, back here wiring up. It's Mini Macho.
The BRN agent, Thomas Buttoned Up B.
Now, time for the legal disclaimer.
Exactly.
The Bubba the Love Sponge Show is intended solely for the enjoyment of our listening audience. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or other use of this show without express written consent of the Bubba Radio Network is prohibited.
We must dissuade him of this delusion.
Until next time, always remember.
I'll repeat hello.